Happy holidays, Law Nerds. It's December 19th. It's Tuesday. After a very heavier topic stream yesterday covering the Ruby Frankie plea and, factual basis and what comes next in that case, we're taking a bit of a respite to giggle. So, replay crew, love you. Everything's down below. If you're here to talk lawsuits, we'll do that first. The nonsense will start to devolve about midway through, I imagine, because we are going to be talking about Mr. Beast's lawsuits with Deez Nutz, which means I am going to say Deez Nutz about 1,000 times during this stream. And as that continues to go on, we will see how ultimately demonetized we can get ourselves, because I do have some props for this stream. But we also need to talk about liquid death in a food court type of situation, which has made me love them more, and some food court retrospectives, because as I was looking at this, I found some interesting articles from the US Chamber of Commerce and other news sources looking at the rise of food-related lawsuits and actually diving into that. So we're going to go from serious to Deez Nutz tonight or today. Emily, does it feel... I was up real late recording the podcast. I'm still salty about screwing up my Sunday night of Pokemon Go sleep. There's a new winter event in Pokemon Go. I have my Bring the Emily Mega Mug today. It is full of cold brew plus plus. I'll show you what the plus plus is in a minute. But before we do that, you guys have started the holiday party off early with a ton of gifted memberships. Before I even logged into my studio, Tina KS Lawner donated 50 memberships to the community. And then Tito Koyan C with 5 memberships, Tracy with 5 memberships. Thank you all for your generosity this holiday season to this community, and I will be shouting those out throughout the stream. So thank you. I will be gifting some memberships in a little bit as well. So y'all, have you recovered from yesterday? Are you okay, Law Nerds? Are you doing all right? Let me know where you're coming in from, what you're drinking this morning, because I've also got like hydration crew, but also coffee crew, but also I found chocolate mint whiskey. So, I mean, things happen. We're going to talk about the chocolate mint in a minute. So let me know where you're coming from, what you're drinking, and we're going to roll. Oh, I got to show you my sweatshirt. Hold on, Law Nerds. I got to show you my sweatshirt. It's my favorite. It's like the one time of year. It lights up. It does light up. Am I going to let it light up the entire stream? No, because it will distract me. But do I love it? Yes. Yes. Could I love anything more? No. I am ready. I am ready for our holiday party. I'm ready for ridiculousness. I am. I'm ready for all of it. Are you? I hope you are too. Let's go.
Hey there, I'm Emily D. Baker, the internet's go-to legal analyst, breaking down the legal side of the pop culture and entertainment stories we can't stop talking about. I'm a big fan of the cursey words. I've been a licensed attorney for over 17 years, but this is not legal advice. This is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not... Let's get into it.
I mean, Tracy, it's absolutely fair. Sarah Smith, do you know the Offspring song Walla Walla? About Walla Walla, Washington? It's so good. It's good to see all of you guys. I know, Sarah. It lights up. It lights up. It just makes me giggle. Here's the thing. I ranted a few weeks ago about the fact that like my beloved pumpkin spice was gone for the season. Not that I can't. Coolican, good jewel to you as well. Thank you so much. Not that I can't like put pumpkin spice in my coffee myself like an adult. I can sometimes. But I was kind of bummed that my beloved pumpkin cream cold brew was gone. I love a, cold foam cold brew. You guys don't tell. Dr. B doesn't watch my streams, don't tell. But I got us for Christmas a frother that we can do all different kinds of froths. So I can make the cold brew, like the cold foam caps at my house. I'm very excited for a new coffee machine because Dr. B and I tend to buy family gifts for the house. Emily, what else are you getting for Christmas? Chairs. New chairs. Getting new chairs. This is how we now Christmas shop for one another. It's like we do stocking stuffers and then things for the home. Because every now and then Emily's like, I need a new and bigger TV. I'm the one that drives the size of the TV at this house. I'm like, bigger. So anyway, I wanted to be able to do like a cold foam, but at home. I love our coffee at home. And I wanted to be able to do like my own cold foam at home. So with any of that, Starbucks released the mint chocolate cold foam. And the mint chocolate cold foam cold brew is actually delightful. But it's like a specialty item that you have to find through the app or ask for it. I really like it. Like it is kind of a dessert drink in the morning. It is definitely sweet, but it is delightful. So this morning I was like, I mean, if we have chocolate mint and we have a chocolate mint cold foam, don't we just have like a chocolate mint Irish whiskey? I mean, isn't that just what we have? I'm not mad at the chocolate mint combination. Kind of tastes like a Girl Scout cookie, and I'm here for Girl Scout cookie coffee. So, I mean, Christy, a size queen like me, yeah, TVs, just bigger. Size does matter. And the thing is, like, we have a room upstairs that's kind of like our family den living room, like the one where we entertain and nobody needs to go up there so you don't have to see it. And it's got a fairly large wall where all our gaming systems are and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, if we're going to be playing video games on it, Animal Crossing looks beautiful, massive. My kids are like, you're using this giant TV to play Suika. I'm like, yeah, why not? So it's fun, but down in the living area, like we have a little bit less space and I wanted a TV. I know Jenna Lyons would absolutely hate it. But I wanted a TV that could put like art on it. So if the TV is on in the living room, you can switch between. It's not an art frame TV. It is just a TV that also has the feature to put on different types of like screensavers. Me, when I was working at the DA's office, fighting with the IT department to do like a fish tank screensaver on my computer so I didn't feel like I was working in a box all day long. Yeah, that was me. I love a good screensaver. So to be able to put on a screensaver that's more decorative and not the Apple ones that like move because sometimes they make me motion sick because I'm old. So I was just like, okay, we can't do a massive TV in the like entertaining space in our house, but we can do one upstairs where it's like family hanging out, flopping on the couch and playing video games. It's delightful. It's delightful. It's delightful. So with all of this, I know, Evie, I was so excited that they released Suica in the US Switch store and you all don't have to try to figure out how to sign into a Japanese Nintendo Switch account and buy gift cards so you can purchase a $2 game in the Japanese Nintendo shop. They were just like, oh, this is a thing now. The streamers made it a thing. So with all of that, we're going to talk food court. We're going to tell some Christmas stories. Courthouse Christmas stories are the best. I'm sure you all have them. But I wanted to take a minute to say thank you after yesterday's stream particularly. I feel this way all year long. But yesterday's stream and then tomorrow's podcast, we're going to be touching more on kind of a quicker summary of what went on with Ruby Frankie so that everybody can kind of coalesce what happened into like okay, now I understand. And then Donna Adelson as well. But we have so many in our community that have worked in other areas where they know things that the general public doesn't necessarily know, and that can be really traumatic. And so many shared their experiences working as first responders, working in medical, working in CPS, working in different protection agencies, working as dispatchers and 911 operators. And so many of you have dealt with jobs where you're like, when people ask about my day, I can't really tell them all of the truth because I don't want to put that on them. The kind of job where you're afraid to tell your therapist actually everything that's bothering you because you don't want it to impact them. I see you. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing your stories. It not only makes me not feel so alone, but it also, I hope, helps you see that there are so many others of us that have done that. And you can just kind of look at a comment or look at something and just be like, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I know exactly what that's like. Because it can be so isolating in a career to not be able to chat with others who have dealt with vicarious trauma and trauma from work. So I was just incredibly, incredibly touched by how many of you opened up and just shared that had been your experience too. It was just absolutely touching. After I streamed, which reminded me of my job at the DA's office, but after I streamed, Dr. B was like, "How was the stream?" I'm like, I don't like these types of cases. They're hard, but I feel that there's a balance, and I feel that I can help with that balance, and I feel that there's a way to talk about it that everybody can understand the law of what's going on, but without it being incredibly difficult. And I'm like, I feel like I strike that balance well, and it's needed, but these cases are hard and hard. And I'm like, this woman, and he's like, I really don't want to know what she did to her kids. I was like, fair enough. And then I was like, oh, Judge Abby, I'm like, listen to this. And she was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah. So for all of you that shared, thank you. And for all of you that were so compassionate to those that shared in this community, thank you. Sometimes it really helps just to be like, yeah, I get it. And thank you for the work that you do. So I get it. And thank you for the work that you do. And thank you to everyone in the community that said, that gave support and love and appreciation. It's so touching, and it shouldn't be unique on the internet, but it is. And it's so special. So thank you all. Thank you, law nerds. Just I'm incredibly grateful for this space, and I'm incredibly grateful that we can navigate from very heavy topics and then all take a deep breath and be like, but what we need today is food court fuckery, and we need to just like take a deep breath and just talk about something else where we can just mock these lawsuits a little bit and have a little bit of fun. And I can't tell you how much it means to me, how much I appreciate it, how often my team will shoot me a message and be like, we received this incredible email, and this community is amazing, and the people in our community are absolutely incredible and hydrated and resilient, and they maintain their healthy boundaries even during the holidays when it's hard. I stand you. So thank you. Just thank you. It was incredibly touching to me. And so for all of you that also were like, we get it. I know that's not always easy to share publicly. Thank you. Just thank you. I don't know what else to say other than you guys are why I do what I do. And even though I am definitely ready for a little bit of a holiday break to just hang out with my kiddos and flop around and play Animal Crossing and Zelda and board games and Cafe Chaos and the rest of it. I love being here with you guys. And it really is, it is a joy. My life was completely different a few years ago, and I would never trade it for anything, because this is truly the best. It's just the best. And it's the best because of y'all. So, and because these litigants keep getting into bullshit. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. But they're not the point. Y'all are the point. Octo shared yesterday that we were like number 4 on live trending. And we're not, a network media company. We are an independent company. This company is owned and run by me and our team. We are not backed by a network. We weren't bought out by Jelly Smack or whatever. We are us, and we are built with the law nerds. We do this as a fan-funded, fan-supported company. Like the New York Times wishes they were as fan-funded as we are. And that's an incredibly special thing too, because we get to choose and we get to say, okay, today we're covering a court case with the first video out of the pool feeds, and we're doing that because it's an important case and we can cover it well. And then today we can cover a suit where we say Deez Nutz and giggle like 12-year-olds for the entirety of the stream. And I am very, very thankful for that because this is possible because of you. And this is joyful because of you, even when it's hard. So I, I don't know what else to say other than I'm so incredibly grateful for you. I'm so incredibly grateful for what we've built. And I'm really touched that we continue to smash legacy media across this platform. And YouTube has absolutely been like, let's talk about what you're doing over there on your channel with fan funding and with memberships and your live streams. Let's talk about what you're creating and how you're building it and how you can help other creators create in a really authentic way. So when Warren shared the fact that we were on live trending and that we beat out all the other networks, we don't pay to promote videos. We paid to build an app that we could notify y'all that want to be notified, but we don't pay to promote our videos on the platform. Not that there's any shade to that, but we're not that kind of media company. We're really driven by y'all and our interest together as law nerds. And that's an incredibly special thing. And I shared on Instagram that people are really ready, at least the law nerds are really ready, for conversation over sensationalism. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today too, but ready to talk about things in a compassionate way when needed, ready to make some jokes when needed, and ready to not feel like everything is so rage baity and sensationalized, and to just take a breath. And it's really incredible that y'all are like, yes, I want that too. I want the conversation. And I want the conversation more than headlines that are trying to play on my emotion to try to get me to click behind a paywall or whatever. And I love that. So thank you. We're going to talk a little bit about the clickbaitiness of Mr. Beast in this lawsuit, because I was surprised. All the headlines on the Deez Nutz lawsuit was like, Mr. Beast loses. And so I actually put Mr. Beast loses Deez Nutz in the headline or the title of this video because I thought it was funny. But it's a little more nuanced than that. And I was like, why am I still surprised? Why am I still surprised that it's more nuanced than that? Like, why am I shocked that the headlines don't quite get it right anymore? Like, Emily, stop being surprised. Stop being surprised. We need to talk about food court. Are you ready for food court? God, I'm ready for food court. Food court is in session. I put on the holiday lights. We're just going to roll it through. Oh, I forgot to text my mom. Hold on, you guys. Can you indulge me for a second? My mom was like, I always miss your food court episodes. And I downloaded the app onto her phone. And she's like, well, what if I'm not looking at my phone? I'm going to actually text her real quick, because then she can't say I didn't tell her about food court. She's going to be horrified. About the third Deez Nutz, my mom is going to text me back and be like, I can't with this. It's going to be fantastic. She's going to be like, what are you doing? All right. Thank you all. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. So food court is my mom's favorite. And so I had to. All right. Are y'all familiar with liquid death? That's what we're talking about first. Let's roll. Let's roll into food court. Where it's been too long. Where did my food court bumper go? There it is. Emily, get your bumpers together. And while your bumpers are rolling, share your screen. Yeah, I know. But the thing about screen sharing is that yesterday it wasn't quite working, and today it's taking its own sweet time. We need to talk about liquid death. The water company, it's going to be that kind of day. I took T to his first concert, and I bought us both like big cans of liquid death and handed him one. He was like, I'm like, buddy, it's water. It's very hot here at Deer Creek, and it's water. You're going to be fine. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So it was really funny. I love the canned waters. I love, the first time I saw liquid death was at concerts. But this is an announcement from Liquid Death that said they wanted to sue us, so we changed the name. And it has the old Liquid Death Armless Palmer to the new Liquid Death Dead Billionaire. I think this response to a food court lawsuit is literally the best. And I love that Liquid Death did this. I think it is a great and cheeky way to respond. I think it's exactly on brand. So let's look at what they had to say, because they have won my heart the same way that Cuthbert and Colin won my heart. If you like our Armless Palmer tea and lemonade, then you're going to love our new Dead Billionaire tea lemonade. Why? Because it's the exact same thing. Only now it has a way cooler name that won't require us to fight a senseless legal battle with a large enterprise who sent us a letter saying we can't use the word Palmer, and who are also partnered with a giant iced tea corporation. Y'all can guess at which iced tea corporation that is. Who sells Palmers? And who are also partnered with a giant iced tea corporation, both of whom have far more money to burn on legal fees than we do. Our new Dead Billionaire cans have started to trickle out on Amazon and will be hitting retail shelves in the spring. Experts are predicting potential brawls in retailers as customers fight over remaining Armless Palmer cans before they become extinct forever and reselling as collector's items for billions of dollars. Hashtag liquid death, hashtag murder your thirst, hashtag death to plastic. So there we go with the change of name from the Armless Palmer to the Dead Billionaire. Is anyone going to confuse who is selling this drink? Like, confusion, market confusion is the test. No one's confusing the Liquid Death can with anything but Liquid Death. No one's looking at Liquid Death going, what do you mean this isn't an Arizona iced tea? Strange. Their branding is so specific. Not a food court example, but remember the Evermore theme park versus Evermore Taylor Swift music? No one is confusing the two. I mean, Taylor Swift seems like an absolute blast, right? The concerts seem like a party, but nobody is going to a Taylor Swift concert, I mean, without a tremendous amount of effort to get tickets, confusing it for an amusement park because there's a song called Evermore, right? No one's confused. No one's confused that this is a Liquid Death drink. No one. I'm so annoyed. But I really love that Liquid Death was like, oh yeah, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you. I'm not playing your little reindeer games. I'm not going down this road to try to fight an extended and protracted legal battle over whether or not we can use the word Palmer in connection with an iced tea lemonade drink. So they said, fuck it. And they changed it to Dead Billionaire instead of making the Armless Palmer joke. I still think the joke is that Liquid Death has a sense of humor and that their corporate response was absolutely the best. And I love them. I can't believe I didn't like this sooner. I thought I had. I saved it. My bad. So that's David. That's expensive. I mean, that's expensive. I enjoy Liquid Death, but I buy Liquid Death at concerts. It is a concert drink for me. And what I love about the cans at concerts is there are times at a concert where I'm like, this might just be me, but I'm like, I want to kind of partake, but I don't want to partake. Like I don't want to be drinking. It is, especially in the summer when it's too hot, I'm like, I rather just drink water. I love that the can it's a vibe, but also drinking water. I love it. It's easy. It's the best. I'm here to buy all of the Liquid Death at concerts. I think that that's how they broke into doing stuff. Liquid Death, okay, not sponsored, but ever if you want to, like I'm down. They just did a collab with Metallica. And I'm like, this is the greatest ever collab, and I love it. I love a brand that knows their audience and isn't afraid to just lean in and lean out of everybody else. Because there's going to be people who are like, I don't get it. This doesn't make any sense. Like, this isn't my thing. But then there's people who are like, this is the fuck my thing. Look at this. Look at this. Liquid Death X Metallica, Murder Your Thirst. Come on. Come on. It's so good. It's so good. I love a sassy brand. I love a brand that knows their people. I love that there is a tour sweatshirt of, a Liquid Death Metallica world tour. I love it. I love it. I love it. Wait, who just told me this? Liquid Death was started by metal musicians? I love it even more. I love it. I love that they have a sense of humor. I love that their koozie looks like a paper bag. I love it. Oh my God, there's a tiki mug? Stop. Chad, I have to stop. I have to stop or we're just going to end up shopping. This is how we ended up with a purple lips phone in my Amazon cart. Come on. Okay, Emily, stop it. We have lots of food court to do. I love it so much. Anyway, I love a cheeky brand. I love that they know their audience. I love that they're unabashedly who they are. And I love that their response to what seemed to me like a stupid lawsuit was to be like, I'm not fucking playing with you. We'll just change the goddamn name. And I suspect that's what happened with Deez Nutz as well. Look at this flask. The flasket. Stop it. Stop it right now. The flasket. Damn, it's so good. Okay, Emily, stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Move on. Move on. It's just so good. The flasket. I'll be honest. I thought Liquid Death was that joke shop spray that smells awful. There might also be one, but it's water. It's water. Metallica also allowed arrangers to take a bunch of their songs, who then arranged them for marching band and then gave away to bands across the country for a marching contest. I saw some of the Metallica marching band stuff. There's been some incredible Metallica marching band shows. Anyway, we're going to go all the way down the rabbit hole talking about my love of brands that are cheeky and know who they are and aren't afraid to offend some people. I love it so much. EDB adding to cart while saying stop it. Yep, immediate. It's like immediately. There's also Metallica just did a whiskey. I love some of the crossovers. They make me super happy. Anyway, Liquid Death makes me super happy. I am very excited to see that their response to the lawsuit was basically, we're not playing with you, fuck off. We'll just change the name. Our audience will love us more for it, and we're here for it. I'm here for it. Go for it. All right, more food court. We need to take a look at the rise in recent food litigation. Have you guys noticed that as we've done food court, that there's been a interesting trend? This was an article from September. So as I was going through food court, I was interested, and I would love to know your thoughts on this because I'm of two minds on all of this. Like, I'm not decided yet. So let us pull this up. This is coming to us from CBS News. Recent lawsuits target companies that misrepresent how food is advertised and what it really looks like. I don't know how I feel about this, so we're going to get into it. When it comes to food advertising, what you see is rarely what you get. A flurry of recent lawsuits want to change that. I don't know how offended we are. How offended are we by this? Should food accurately represent what it looks like? Or do we all know, like in all advertising of everything, it looks a little better? Like in clothing advertising, they will tailor and use the big clips to make sure the clothing fits the models perfectly. But that's not what the clothing is going to necessarily look like on you. You're not going to walk around with big clips on the back of the clothing to make it fit you exactly the way that it should. You're not going to be taping it up necessarily to make it look exactly the way it should. You're not going to necessarily airbrush yourself in real life to walk around. Like the false advertising in everything is part of everything. But is that a problem? Are we like, no, where's the real? If you're advertising a mascara, don't put on fake lashes. Just show me what the mascara does to your lashes. So it's there's a lot of this in advertising in general. It's, are colors boosted? Are things airbrushed and photoshopped? Do things look real? Do things look exactly like they look? So I don't think it would be a bad thing if advertising had to be more honest. I don't know if it would be either. And that's what we're talking about. Like, at what point do we need to have a real conversation? Are we suing men on dating apps then? I mean, Allison, maybe both. So, motor oil for pancake syrup and photo shoots, right? Exactly. There's a lot of it. So, Acid said, I don't want sensationalistic, misleading news. Not sure why it should be okay for advertisers either. Fair. This is why I don't like watching ads for makeup. Almost if airbrushed, a lot of it is, right? There's a lot of room for, like, yes, making something look great and aspirational, but also where is the truth in it? We talked about advertising. Oh, that was yesterday in the members only when I was ranting about Super Bowl advertising. We're not, if you know, you know. Over the past few years, this goes on to say, lawyers have been bringing class action suits against food companies alleging that they're misrepresenting food in their marketing. Lawyers James Kelly and Anthony Russo in particular have been leading the charge, bringing cases against Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, and Arby's. These companies use ads that don't match up with their actual food, the suits allege. As evidence, the companies feature images of food marketing alongside shots of their real-life counterparts. In the ads, burgers look tall, heaped with meat. Excuse me. Heaped with meat and cheese, topped with golden rounded buns. I needed to read that in a different voice. I didn't realize that we were going that direction. Heaped with meat and golden rounded buns. I thought we weren't going to get there until we got to Deez Nutz, but damn it, here we are. Steve said that's my stripper name. Is it heaped with meat or golden rounded buns, Steve? Okay, sorry. Heaped with meat and cheese, topped with golden rounded buns. But in the photos of burgers bought from the real fast food location, they're flat with meat and cheese barely peeking out of limp white buns. Not the limp buns. Not the limp buns. No. Aaron's like, is your mom here yet? Hi, Mom. It's like, this reads like an SNL skit. We're not even at the ridiculous part yet. This is why I do these as first looks. I read the title of this article and was like, yes, this is an article talking about what we need to talk about and talking about the lawyers that are bringing these lawsuits, but I didn't read through the entire thing. Oh, man. They want the butts to be plump. The buns to be plump. I mean, you know. So they're flat with meat and cheese barely peeking out of limp white buns. Tacos are no different. In Taco Bell's ads, crunch wraps look hearty and plump. In photos in the lawsuit, they look flat and nearly empty. The suits are ongoing. We know all about the Taco Bell suit. We've definitely gone through the stuff that thing with a lot more meat conversation with the Taco Bell lawsuits. We saw a record number of food litigation lawsuits filed from 2020 to 2023, with hundreds of new suits each year, said Tommy Tubin, a lawyer at Perkins Coie and lecturer at UCLA Law, adding that food litigation is a fast-growing area of law. I speculated about this when we were covering the one plaintiff who was suing for the macaroni and cheese at Whole Foods and suing Texas Pete and it was like one firm that was doing the most. And I was like, oh boy, we have a problem. The explosion has been largely driven by the efforts of a handful of lawyers, including Russo and Kelly, said Bonnie Patton, executive director of Truth in Advertising, a nonprofit organization that focuses on protecting customers from limp buns. From false advertising. Their cases focus on quantity, she said, essentially arguing that food and ads appear more bountiful than what customers actually get. The lawyers like Spencer Sheehan focus on how food is described. Sheehan, a New York lawyer, has filed hundreds of class action lawsuits focusing on misleading words on packaged food, like the use of the word vanilla on foods made with little or no actual vanilla. Maybe they're just saying it's flavoring, not that there's actual like non-artificial flavoring in it. Or maybe it's just saying like, please don't spank my buns. Like, I don't know. How are they using the word vanilla? Katie, I'm so sorry. It's going to be that kind of a stream if you're already hungry. Don't put me down for my limp buns. Save us from flaccid sandwiches, Judy. Limp Buns is a Limp Biscuit tribute band. Jolie. Chat. And Eric, here's the thing. The hundreds of class action lawsuits, does it make things better or does it make things more expensive? Like, is the Taco Bell Crunch Wrap going to be more expensive because of this? I mean, Nikki, typical lawyer, what does this word mean? Vanilla can mean a variety of things. I'm vanilla, baby. Thanks, Emily. I have peppermint bark thins handy. There we go. We've got snacks in the chat. You're gonna need snacks to get through this. Is this state or federal court? I'd love to see this trial. Most of these are in federal court, and most of them resolve without trial. So let us continue. Major chains have also been targeted for how they describe food. Excuse me. Excuse me, Alexa, nobody asked you. She's giving me the definition. No, of the word lettuce. Cancel. Oh, Lord. Major chains have been targeted for how they describe food. Last year, a class action suit was brought against Starbucks, claiming that the chain is misleading buyers of its refreshers beverages by naming them for ingredients they don't have. We fought over this in the chat. Are they named for ingredients or are they named for flavors? And can they be different? This suit's also ongoing. The complaint states that, for example, the Mangan. What is happening? The mango dragon fruit and mango dragon fruit lemonade refreshers contain no mango. But they are, in fact, mango flavored. There's just no mango in them. And that, in fact, all of the products are predominantly made with water, grape juice concentrate, and sugar, which, by the way, is not misrepresented in the ingredients list. The ingredients list tells you whether or not they have flavoring or the actual fruit. So if you had a food allergy, you could determine whether or not it was just flavored or had the thing in it. But anyway, all of the products are predominantly made with water, juice concentrate, and sugar. Starbucks argued, among other things, that the fruits mentioned indicate the flavor rather than an ingredient. Mm-hmm. The allegations in the complaint are inaccurate and without merit. A Starbucks spokesperson said in a statement, "We look forward to defending ourselves against these claims." For a judge or jury to side with plaintiffs in false advertising claims, lawyers have to successfully make the case that the ads would trick a reasonable consumer. Under this standard, the court asked whether a reasonable consumer would be misled. Look, some of these things a reasonable consumer might not, but when we look at things like last food court, we talked about the Reef Safe sunscreen that had like the little Reef Safe logo on it. I feel like most of you, us, not just you, us, most of us would look at it and go like, oh, it's stamped Reef Safe, therefore it must not have shit in it that's bad for reefs in the ocean. I think most would be implied. or most would be misled by that. Under this standard, the court asks whether a reasonable consumer would be misled by the product's marketing or labeling. And here's the problem for me. Has food advertising fuckery, or just advertising fuckery in general, gotten to the point where most consumers assume that what they see in ads isn't an accurate representation because the fuckery has gone on for so long? Like, is a reasonable consumer now at the point where they're like, well, all advertising is basically fuckery, so I assume that my Crunchwrap Supreme is not going to look like the one in the picture. So has the food industry, we're going to just stick to the food industry, but has the food industry worked itself into a corner where people are like, I expect to be misled. I expect you to kind of lie a bit. The courts will have to draw the line between false advertising and just advertising, which might be trickier than it sounds. We've just explored why it might be trickier than it sounds. Burger King, in a bid to dismiss the lawsuit against it, argued that its ads are fair. Reasonable consumers viewing food advertising know that food in the ads has been styled to make it look as appetizing as possible. That's like what I just said. Emily, keep reading. Callista raised a great point in the chat. Callista said, yeah, but does expecting to be lied to make it okay when they lie to you? I don't know. The thing is, between the moral, like, does it make it okay, and the legal, would a reasonable consumer be fooled, are two different things. I don't think it makes it okay, but also it might make it hard to meet the standard, right? We need new Where's the Beef commercials. We do. Not Where's the Beef, but limp buns. Nobody wants limp buns. So Burger King argued that consumers know that food is styled to look better than it might look when you order it at a given Burger King. Burger King argued in a recent filing that innate knowledge plus the fact that a Whopper patty is always made with a quarter pound of beef as promised means that the ads are fine. The plaintiff's claims are false. A Burger King spokesperson said in a statement about the lawsuit, the flame-grilled beef patties portrayed in our advertising are the same patties used in the millions of Whoppers we serve to guests nationwide. Arby's, McDonald's, and Taco Bell did not respond to requests for comment. For Russo, the lawyer, that argument doesn't cut it. He's more concerned with what he calls common sense eyeball test. Sir? What is the common sense eyeball test, and which court is applying the common sense eyeball test? Law students everywhere are like, that doesn't sound like a thing. He calls the common sense eyeball test the fast food chains targeted in his suit, he says, are failing. If you look at what their advertisements are showing and you look at what on a regular basis every consumer is getting, there's a glaring disparity. You could talk about weight, you could talk about volume. Those are things that experts get into. But if the image is drastically different from the product, the details don't matter. What you see is not what you get. For Patton, a reasonable consumer is an average consumer. The legal system, she said, often expect more from a reasonable consumer than she would from an average one. Trial courts tend to have a very high opinion of who the reasonable consumer is. Your honors, do you go on social media? Because, okay, just saying. And I think as a result of that, we dismiss a lot of these types of class actions, taking the position that a reasonable consumer, of course, knows that this type of advertising exaggerates the quantity and quality of food. Patton has heard much complaining about this specific discrepancy between how much food they are expected due to advertising and how much food they actually get. Here's what I wonder. Will the fact that food has gotten so much more expensive be the tipping point for the tolerance for this, right? If you go buy, a couple cheeseburgers from McDonald's and those cheeseburgers cost $1, are you going to be upset if your cheeseburger has a limper bun or less cheese than you expect? Take that same cheeseburger that 5 years ago was $1 and is now like $4, and you might take a look at it and be like, Excuse me, what the fuck? Like, what am I actually paying for? And this is not what is photoed on the thing. So I wonder if, as we get jurors that are dealing with inflation, that the cost of the food mixed with the way it's portrayed in advertising is going to become a bigger issue, where people are like, no, I bought the Crunchwrap Supreme instead of 3 tacos because I thought that the Crunchwrap Supreme would have as much meat as 3 tacos. And that was the cost benefit of just buying the Crunchwrap Supreme and not the 3 tacos. Because now if you go to Taco Bell, you could easily spend $50 for 3 people, which a couple years ago seemed preposterous. So I wonder if the nature of inflation is going to change the way jurors look at these suits in favor of being like, yeah, because also fuck that. Food is getting more expensive. Fast food is more expensive. And that's what you're showing is not what I'm getting. So that's not okay. And I think we're going to see a shift because people aren't feeling like they're getting their money's worth, where when it's like $1, people are like, I mean, what do I expect? It's $1. What you expect at $1 and what you expect at $5 is going to be different. Or at least I think it's going to be different. Maybe it's not. Anthony, look, I'm just saying, 5 years ago, it was harder to spend $50 at Taco Bell than it is now. Now it's like, wait, what did I get again? How much? Sir. So I think that we're going to see a shift in how juries respond to this if these go to juries, because the average consumer is also making decisions maybe based on, okay, but if I get this one, quarter pounder with cheese or whatever, is that my meal because that's what I can afford? So if you're showing me all of the pizza and buns like this and what I'm getting when I order is this, then I'm going to be pissed. So maybe. So people are complaining about the discrepancy between how much food they expect and how much food they actually get. I can see these complaints going up. We get it for burgers. We've gotten it for buckets of chicken. Don't fuck with a bucket of chicken, man. If you have an ad with the chicken coming up over the top of the bucket, I imagine people that go to buy a bucket of chicken expect there to be chicken coming up the top of the bucket. All sorts of different kinds of food. One of my favorite detectives that I worked with had a guy that had called the police because he had been robbed. But he was also deeply intoxicated. And so when law enforcement rolled up to find out what had been stolen and by who, he kept talking about his red and white. And he's like, they took my red and white, and kept trying to explain to these officers over and over and over again, repeating, no, they took my red and white. They took my red and white. And the officers are like, what the fuck are you talking? I cannot help if I do not know what your red and white is. Once they actually had another person walk up and be like, can you help? Yeah, Julia, his KFC. Somebody had taken his bucket of KFC. And so he had called the police because somebody had jacked him of his KFC. This was not the first robbery case I had seen involving food. So yes, the red and white stripes on the bucket of KFC is what he was referring to, because somebody had stolen all of the man's chicken. Tim said DoorDash drivers are hungry too. This was well before DoorDash. The man had walked to KFC, gotten a bucket of chicken, and then gotten jacked for the bucket of chicken while walking back with the bucket of chicken. So they had stolen the red and white. And he was pissed, which I get it. So I believe the resolution was the officers took him to go buy more chicken. And we're like, I don't know if we're ever going to find the person who stole the chicken, but we're going to just buy you more chicken. And so the officers took him to buy more chicken. But she was telling me how long it took them to try to figure out what red and white is. I had a witness who had gotten jumped. Well, he ended up getting jumped again after he testified, but he got robbed on his way home from high school. And we were sitting doing the interview before he testified. And he was talking about, the weapons they pulled out and the rest of it. And he's like, they pulled everything out of my pockets and they took my phone and they took my money and they took my shoes. And he goes, I think they took my cheese fries. And that was the thing that broke him. High school student. He's like, they took everything and then they took my snack. I was just walking home from school, eating cheese fries, trying to have a day, and got rolled on the street, at gunpoint for my shoes, my wallet, my phone, and my cheese fries. And I was just like, sir, this is the worst. It was like the final thing. The final insult was the cheese fries. It was like, and now I don't even have any fucking food, no money, no shoes. It made me so mad. And then they said the defendant sat and laughed at him throughout the entire testimony. Sat there and laughed. I was so pissed. I was so fucking mad. I was just sitting there and I'm like, rage, so much rage. Rage. I was so mad. They sat and laughed about this kid being upset about being robbed at gunpoint. That's not the point. We were talking about food court today, Emily. Back to food court. Stealing food. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's just the last straw, right? Let's see. Julia said, please tell me the jury had thoughts about the defendant's laughter. This was a preliminary hearing. The bailiffs were not thrilled. You could see their faces. Jordan, it was a long road, but both the defendants ended up having multiple cases because this was not their first rodeo. And they ended up pleading to the case, but that was after other things. So it was one of those things that still bothers me. Let's see. Oh, food court. When it comes to allegations of false advertising, there are more egregious questions about whether a taco on a screen matches a taco in the hand. How many times do we want to know if what's on the screen matches what's in the hand? Back to all of you wanting to sue on the dating apps. If they're not dismissed, they often get settled, offering the defendant certain protections and giving consumers some small amount of cash, while their lawyers walk away with a larger bundle. And this is the thing. Who's getting enriched? Are consumers better off? Are consumers better off? Or are lawyers better off? Who's benefiting from all of these suits? Is the taco advertising actually more accurate so consumers know that the taco in hand and the taco in mouth is going to be the taco that they saw on whatever advertisement? Or are the lawyers just being like, these are easy, they're going to settle, let's just print money? It goes on to say, but with people watching their budgets, hey, Emily, keep reading. It's worth examining whether customers are getting as much food as they expect from major fast food chains. When people are using their limited resources to purchase this and they're not being provided with the quantity of food they're expecting, that is an issue, no doubt. The suits and the attention they receive can help inform the public of what really to expect. Well, there you go. But we have another article that took a different approach to this. Look at this image of the scales of justice. I would put this painting on my wall. It was probably done by ChatGPT. 6 scary food-related lawsuits of 2023. Let's be fair. This was published on October 31st, 2023. This is the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Institute for Legal Reform's Halloween blog post. But I also am not mad at the creepy scales of justice. I kind of dig it. In the world of litigation, truth is often stranger than fiction. Law nerds. The law nerds know that that's true. The law nerds know that that is absolutely true. Truth is very much stranger than fiction. Because sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. All right. In the world of litigation, truth is often stranger than fiction. And when it comes to food, our society has a knack for generating some of the craziest legal disputes. In 2023, the courts have been serving up a buffet of bizarre food-related lawsuits that have left us both baffled and amused. I'm very amused. I'm amused. Let's take a bite out of the weirdest cases clogging our legal system this year. Cheers. Who wrote this? Wait, where's the byline? Damn it. Where's the byline? Is it at the end? No. Look. Excuse me. U.S. Chamber of Commerce Institute of Legal Reform. Cheers to whoever wrote this and their cheekiness. We salute you. We salute you. Honk Banana Nose said if Lizzo is involved, the truth is just straight up bananas. The chat. It's an amused boosh. TMCB girl. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Cindy said finger looking good. Is it real? It seems real. It was written by committee. It might have been. Hershey Kisses are smaller. Don't fit in my cookies anymore. Really? That's interesting. That's interesting. No credit given. I know. I'm really disappointed. No, please don't make it AI generated. It's cheeky. If there's no byline, it's the marketing team who wrote the article. That's possible. Bring the snark on the snack. Is it real or Memorex? Amanda said the chat is on one today. It's a holiday party. We're meant to be. We're meant to be. We're meant to be. All right. Whoppers too small. Burger King faces shrinkage scandal. We're back to the limp buns. Remember the good old days when you could count on a massive Whopper to satisfy your hunger? Apparently some folks don't, and they've taken the matter to court. Burger King found itself in the midst of a lawsuit claiming their Whoppers had mysteriously shrunk. Not the shrinkage. The chat was on the shrinkage joke like 10 minutes ago. I saw you. I saw you, chat. I saw you. All of you were like, well, it is winter. I saw you. I saw all of you. You were already there. A lawsuit claiming their Whoppers had mysteriously shrunk. Well, we all know that our appetites can expand. This is next level. While it may seem like a microscopic problem to some, plaintiffs have put Burger King in quite a pickle. If they're advertising burgers that are bigger than the actual burgers, if they're saying it's a quarter pound of beef, like when is it okay? Taco Bell in a crunch over allegedly misrepresented meat. Taco Bell, the fast food giant known for its late night cravings and affordable delights, was slapped with a lawsuit over their meaty fillings. There's not enough meat in a crunch wrap to slap, apparently. You can't slap that meat. There's not enough meat there. That's the point of the lawsuit. A group of plaintiffs alleged false advertising, accusing Taco Bell of not using enough beef in their beloved tacos. Who knew you could have beef with a beef taco? It's not, excuse me, offer, they have beef with a crunch wrap, not a taco. It's not a taco. The Texas Pete isn't from Texas. The Texas Pete hot sauce is a staple in many American homes, but not everyone is happy about the name. One disgruntled consumer claims they paid more for the product because they assumed it was produced in Texas. When they learned the product was actually made in North Carolina, they filed a lawsuit. Oh, the fuck yes, they did. In an unexpected twist, the plaintiff's lawyers filed a motion to drop the case. Who knew geography could be such a spicy issue? Looks like this lawsuit went from hot to not in no time. Well, they did accuse Texas Pete's attorneys of harassing them by trying to participate in discovery. Subway's mystery tuna isn't so mysterious. We've gone from tacos to tuna, y'all. I don't know. A class action lawsuit claimed that Subway's tuna contains no actual tuna, even though the lawsuit was ultimately permanently dismissed. Subway was left to deal with bad publicity. I thought you were going to say Subway was left with a bad taste in its mouth. They even launched a website, Subway Tuna Facts, in response to the lawsuit. They did what now? Boneless wings under fire at Buffalo Wild Wings because all people want is Wingstop. We're going to Subway Tuna Facts next. Don't worry. Buffalo Wild Wings is famous for its sports bar atmosphere and delicious wings, but in 2023, we're going to have to talk about other delicious wings later. But in 2023, they faced a lawsuit challenging the authenticity of their boneless wings. The plaintiff argued that boneless wings aren't actually made from deboned chicken wings. Buffalo Wild Wings clapped back on social media, adding, "Our hamburgers contain no ham. Our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo." It's true. Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. Our hamburgers contain no ham. Our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo. I mean, aren't they just exactly? Katrina said it in the chat too. Aren't they just nuggets? Like, aren't boneless wings just chicken nuggets called boneless wings? Right? Just nuggies. At least they're made from chicken. The Velveeta cheese class action conundrum. Oh, this was a favorite this year. When it comes to mac and cheese, there were multiple mac and cheese lawsuits this year that I covered. I covered multiple mac and cheese lawsuits. When it comes to mac and cheese, Velveeta has a unique place in the hearts of many, but not everyone was satisfied. Well, maybe they'll never be satisfied, particularly with the advertised microwave cook time, leading to a $5 million class action lawsuit. But the judge's dismissal of that lawsuit was snappy as fuck, and I loved it. The plaintiff claimed that it takes longer than 3.5 minutes to prepare, even though its packaging states ready in 3.5 minutes. Since the Florida resident suffered no actual injury, the lawsuit was tossed. The judge was like, get out of here. The issue was that it said ready in 3.5 minutes when it cooks for 3.5 minutes, and you have to like pour the water in and let it sit. That was the lawsuit.
That was the lawsuit. No. It's not ready in 3.5 minutes. It cooks in 3.5 minutes. I have to pour water into it, and that takes time. And I am harmed.
And the court was like, GFO. Anyway, this year's array of ridiculous food-related lawsuits, as we've explored, paints a scary picture of the legal world's intersection with our culinary cravings. The thing is, some of them are bullshit, and some of them are like, are they though? Because I'm still kind of salty about the Reef one. Like, some of them, it's a fair thing. Some of them, it's total fuckery. And I think we're going to continue to go through this and point it out, which means we have to talk about Mr. Beast, don't we? Are we ready to talk about Mr. Beast? Do you guys want an update on the Beast Burger lawsuit, or do you just want Deez Nutz? Oh, hold on. I'm going to put up a poll. Let's see if the polls are working. What do we want? Deez Nutz, Beast Burger, add option both. All right, let's hope you can see the polls. Either way, we're going to be talking about Mr. Beast. Let's see. But are Deez Nutz salted? David, we're going to get to that. Some of them are creamy, some of them are salted. Oh, wait, we needed to go to Tuna Facts. Anne-Marie, you're absolutely right. You were absolutely right. Tuna Facts. Where is it? Oh my God. There's a whole article about it from today. What? Not from today, from the Today Show. Subway launched a website to share the quote unquote truth about its tuna. Oh my God, Subway, you could have gone a totally different direction with this and gone with like an influencer marketing campaign called like Exposing Our Tuna and just hired a bunch of influencers to do cheeky I'm sure this is not on brand for Subway at all, but to do cheeky exposés of exposing our tuna. More people would be amused by like a cheeky TikTok exposing Subway tuna than a website called Subway Tuna Facts. I'm just saying. Subway is attempting to set the record straight about its much debated tuna again, this time with an informational website called Subway Tuna Facts. Look, man, all the foot-long tuna jokes. Subway tuna lawsuit dismissed. Subway's mad that nobody cared once the lawsuit was dismissed. This is a fair criticism. It is a really difficult thing when a lawsuit is initiated. That's what picks up media attention. Everybody's like, this and this and that's happening. 3 years later or whatever, when the lawsuit is eventually resolved, the resolution nearly never makes as big of a splash either socially or on social media or even in the media as the initial thing did. So it's kind of like that shot first fired has the most impact a lot of the time. So when we saw like the Satan shoes situation, it seemed like Nike sued because they kept saying they weren't involved with the mischief shoes, but nobody was listening. So they filed a lawsuit so that maybe the headlines would be that Nike sues, and then people would not think that Nike was involved with the Satan shoes or whatever. So doing a website's not going to work. You're going to absolutely need like a TikTok campaign or something. Subway tuna lawsuit dismissed. We created this page in response to a meritless lawsuit that falsely questioned the quality of Subway's tuna. Subway, have a sense of humor, hire some influencers. Can you imagine? Where does Subway serve tuna? In their footlongs. Tuna Q&A. No one's reading this, Subway. Who's the head of marketing for Subway? You need younger people. This is not ageist. You need people who understand social media campaigns. You need people who have a sense of humor. How does Subway ensure its tuna is 100% wild-caught tuna? What other quality control mechanisms are in place? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Make a video. Make a video and make it funny. That's it. Order how you want, when you want. Tuna supply chain infographic. Tuna supply chain infographic. PDF, you can download it. In the year of our Lord 2023, this is not going to work. Subway, I need you to talk to Aldi's social media team, particularly their UK social media team. Just hire them. Just hire them. This is not actually, whatever PR firm told you that just doing a website was going to be enough is not enough. Make it cheeky. Let's talk about Mr. Beast. You guys were like, both, with much more interest in Deez Nutz. So we're going to do a quick Mr. Beast lawsuit, Beast Burger lawsuit update, and we'll go from there. Let's get into Beast Burger. For those of you that do not know, the four of you, I see you, who Mr. Beast is. He's like one of the most subscribed to channels on the platform. I think he's like second or third worldwide of one of the biggest creators on the platform. He is 25 years old. He's made videos that your children might have seen. They might occasionally come across your algorithm. Mr. Beast videos never come across my algorithm. My algorithm is dialed. It does not. But when we turn on, YouTube in my vehicle, yes, my vehicle has YouTube. My kids have watched enough YouTube in my vehicle that Mr. Beast videos, like Mr. Beast and Odd Ones Out, immediately come up. So with that, Mr. Beast is a massive YouTuber that also started Beast Burger, which was a ghost kitchen, delivery only burger chain. I'm still traumatized from covering this federal lawsuit because of all of the pictures of raw chicken. So disgusting. So Mr. Beast sued Celebrity Virtual Dining Concepts, and they sued him, and it is all over the ghost kitchens. Mr. Beast saying that the company that he partnered with is not working with him on quality control, and it's damaging his brand reputation because people are having shitty food experiences. They have sued saying, well, he's creating the shitty experiences because he's on Twitter saying he wishes he could get out of this contract. So there were multiple lawsuits. They've all been consolidated into one lawsuit in federal court. Where in federal court? Because the New York one was dismissed. The other federal one was dismissed. And there no, there were three. And the controlling case, the controlling case is in the state court of New York. So we're just going to take a look at the November 28th, 2023 joint stipulated status report, because this is the only case that's still going on. All of the other lawsuits have narrowed down into this one lawsuit. So all of the same allegations going forward. To the judge, we are the counsel for the parties in the above captioned action, which is Beast Investments versus Celebrity Virtual Dining, and vice versa. Plaintiff's position. Plaintiff Beast Investments is an LLC majority owned and operated by Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, an influencer and YouTube personality whose channel is the third most subscribed on the platform. Third. Is Coco Melon number one? I'm guessing. Maybe. In 2020, plaintiff contracted with defendants to launch and run virtual dining brand called Mr. Beast Burger. The main agreements governing the relationship are an endorsement and services agreement between plaintiff and defendant CVD dated September 3rd, 2020, and a letter agreement between plaintiff and defendant on January 23rd, 2022. Shortly after launch, Mr. Beast Burger business was the subject of multiple negative online reviews by customers. Plaintiff alleges that defendant breached the endorsement agreement by, for example, materially and irreparably tarnishing Mr. Beast's brand, filing international trademarks, and otherwise using Mr. Beast's brand outside the scope of the agreement and failing to pay amounts owed. Plaintiff further alleges that defendant breached the letter agreement in similar ways. Defendant's position. Defendant, Celebrity Virtual Dining Concepts, are pioneers of the virtual restaurant, which allows brick and mortar restaurants to use excess kitchen capacity to prepare delivery orders for online restaurants. In 2022, they approached Donaldson about his licensing company, Plaintiff Beast Investments, about a jointly owned virtual restaurant operating under the Mr. Beast Burger brand. The parties thereafter executed an endorsement agreement, which provided, given Donaldson's enormous social media following and online platform, and in view of the virtual dining shouldering the brand's operating burden, that Donaldson and Beast Investments would publicly support the brand and would not make disparaging, false, misleading, or otherwise defamatory comments about the brand or virtual dining. The popularity of the brand surged amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, and it experienced immediate and widespread success, which was part of the thing, right? People were like, food's getting delivered. Let these restaurants still make money. Mr. Beast was like, I can help people work during the pandemic in that we can still make sure that restaurants are providing burgers and people aren't dining. People aren't dining in restaurant and whatever else. So with that, the popularity of the brand surged amidst the pandemic and experienced immediate and widespread success. Seeking to continue to share in this success, the parties executed a letter agreement which provided for an expansion into brick and mortar restaurants. Unfortunately, Donaldson and Beast Investments failed to comply with their obligations under the contracts, including their obligations to promote the brand, and instead seized upon the brand's success by exploiting their leverage and reneging on their agreements in an effort to seek a more lucrative deal. When the effort failed, Donaldson took to social media, posting a series of disparaging and misleading social media posts about the brand throughout the summer of 2023, breaching the ESA in numerous ways and causing enormous economic damage to the brand. I mean, if Mr. Beast is like, I don't stand by Beast Burger, is anyone still ordering Beast Burger? Or are they just like, I ordered it to support him or because my kid wanted to support him? Virtual Dining denies the allegations in the complaint and contends that the plaintiff's claims are barred due to, among other things, material breaches of contractual obligations. Causes of action, affirmative defenses, counterclaims, status of discovery. That's what I wanted to go through because we've gone through the rest of it. On November 14th, plaintiff served its first request for production and documents. Production of documents and things. I love how formal it is. First request for production of documents and shit. Defendants' responses are due December 11th per agreement of the parties. Defendants plan to serve discovery requests shortly, and no discovery has been exchanged. No substantive motions have been filed in this action aside from motions for admission pro hoc vice of counsel, which were granted by the court. Mediation. Plaintiff is amenable to participating in early mediation, but wants to receive documents from its November 14th request, in particular the financial documents requested therein. VDC is amenable to early mediation after discovery has been exchanged. So both parties are like, okay, if we need to, we will go to mediation. What's interesting is that the defendants, Virtual Dining, do not have Matthew Rosengart representing them on this case. Rosengart had them represented on others. Jay, I don't know if PewDiePie is still number one because I think Mr. Beast has more subs than PewDiePie at this point, but I really don't know. I'd be surprised. I mean, maybe he caught up and overtook it, but I remember when Mr. Beast passed PewDiePie in subs. But if Mr. Beast is the third most subscribed to YouTuber on the platform as of November 28th, 2023, who's number one? Hold on, now I need to know. Hold on, I just need to know. But also, the thing with Mr. Beast is Mr. Beast has a whole bunch of different channels. So if they're, I don't know if they're just looking at Mr. Beast or if they're looking at Mr. Beast Gaming, Mr. Beast Philanthropy, and the other ones. So I'm not sure. Coco, I need to look at things that never come up in my algorithm. Coco Melon. Let's see. Coco Melon, 169 million subscribers. There it is. Where's Mr. Beast's main channel? Can Mr. Beast overtake Coco Melon's nursery rhymes? Mr. Beast, 219 million subscribers. Wait, Mr. Beast has more subscribers than Coco Melon. Damn. T-Series, thank you, Eric. T-Series, 253 million. Mr. Beast, 210 million. As of today, 219 million. Coco Melon, 167 million. Now 169 million. The fact that they just like, everybody just like coolly gains a couple mil. It's like, we just gained a couple milli. It's like, oh. Hey, Law Nerds. There's like 5,000 of you here. Statistically, most of you are subscribed, but if you don't mind subscribing, I would love that. For those of you asking, what is Coco Melon? Coco Melon is a nursery rhyme channel for little children. Yes, little children. So it is a nursery rhyme channel. Just so we can't, I believe Coco Melon made the new group, the new wave of Baby Shark, because Baby Shark has been around forever. I think it's Creative Commons. But yes, Coco Melon is the new. Okay, so with all of it, Kay said, I came in late. What does Rosengart have to do with this? And is it the same Rosengart for Brittany? Yes, the same Rosengart. He represented Celebrity Virtual Dining in 2 of the lawsuits, but not in the lawsuit that is still progressing. So I needed to close the loop on those who were like, where's the Rosendaddy on all of this? Emily said, I keep finding I'm unsubscribed from your channel. I don't know why that happens, but it absolutely does. So there we go. Let's see. Are all of you ready to move on? To move on to Deez Nutz. Yeah? Are we ready? We've got a whole, we haven't done any of a dive into this lawsuit at all. Are you ready? Are you ready? We'll go back to the Berea lawsuit on another food court. I promise another food court. We needed to not have nuanced discussion today. We needed to just giggle. Or at least I wanted to just giggle. So, as you saw in our where is this? Where did the rest of my there we go. I'm like, where did the rest of my documents go? As you saw in the title, we're going to talk about whether or not Mr. Beast lost Deez Nutz, whether we know where Deez Nutz are, what the difference is between Deez Nutz, and Doe's Nuts, and trademarks. And all of the media headlines were like, Mr. Beast loses lawsuit. And I'm like, how? That's way too fast for a trademark lawsuit. Like, the first thing in my mind was, this is way too fast for a trademark lawsuit. So we needed to dive deeper into Deez Nutz. So buckle up, law nerds, because it's gonna be like that. Emily, how much do you like your monetization? Not as much as I like making jokes about Deez Nutz. So that's what we're going to do. So everybody who's a 12-year-old like me, let's just go. Let's just go. All right, we got some chapstick. We got Deez Nutz. The lips are moist. We're ready to go. Wait, where'd the rest of my complaint go? Damn it. There we go. Deez Nutz LLC versus Feastables. Feastables is the company that does all of the Mr. Beast chocolate. If you've seen it, you might have seen it. It's sold in like gas stations and Walmart and wherever you can find snacks. I've seen it in Target. All the things. So Deez Nutz LLC, DEES NUTS versus Feastables. Parties. Deez Nutz LLC is a limited liability company in Jacksonville, Florida. Feastables is a company out of Chicago. This is a complaint for trademark infringement under the Lanham Act. The U.S. trademark registration for the mark Deez Nutz, DEES. Unfair competition, Florida common law, etc. Jurisdiction and venue, we're going to skip because we're going to get directly to the facts common to all counts. Because this lawsuit has resolved and we're going to get into why. So, plaintiff is the owner of an incontestable U.S. trademark registered for the standard character word mark Deez Nutz. They sue over this? Or did the word big in the middle of Deez and Nuts help you not sue over this? I have questions. Lyndon, lawyers spent their time at work talking about all of this. Viking Bear said should be Feast Deez Nutz. They do have Crunch Deez Nutz. Insert Chef's Chocolate Salty Balls song. We can't sing Chocolate Salty Balls lest we immediately be shut down. Trisha Lynn said a deep dive into Deez Nutz. Yes. Yeah. Tara said, Emily, limp buns, picked the wrong time to take a gummy this morning. No, Tara, you picked the right time to have a gummy this morning. So, wait, Terry, have you had Deez Nutz? I do like their dill pickle peanuts, not gonna lie. Terry, tell the chat about what Deez Nutz were like in your mouth. We need to know. So Deez Nutz has a trademark. They're the owner of the trademark. They've constantly used Deez Nutz mark in commerce to sell gourmet flavored peanuts for over a decade. During that period, plaintiff has grown and established itself as a market leader in selling processed nuts and sells millions of dollars worth of processed nuts annually. Plaintiff also used Deez Nutz in connection with apparel for several years. The Deez Nutz mark I'm just going to remind you now that if you are members, you can search for the trademark lawsuit over Ringo and Ringo. It is a members only video now. It was on the channel for about a year, but it was time to make it a members only video, as sometimes I do. So if you are a new member, if you've been gifted a membership, if you're a member that does not know, you can search through the members only. The Ringo trademark lawsuit is between Ringo Starr and the Ringo, a bestseller at adamandeve.com. So if this type of trademark hilarity is right up your alley, that video on the members only might be for you, because we had to explore some of the other Ringo things. So that is another trademark lawsuit between the Ringo and Sir Ringo. So just a reminder that sometimes lawyers can have fun doing trademark lawsuits. Lee said, right up your alley is interesting verbiage, Emily. It's intentional verbiage, Lee. Ringo was fantastic. So if you are a member on the channel, Ringo is there. It is an After Dark episode. And it needed to be an After Dark episode. So Deez Nutz mark was first selected and used by Brian A. DeTore, predecessor in interest to and current principal of Deez Nutz LLC. Brian selected the Deez Nutz mark based on his grandmother, Adeline DeMore, who many knew as Miss D. Her laughter and belief that life should not be taken too seriously inspired Brian to select a trademark that paid homage to her and her comedic flair. Hence, Deez Nutz was created. Not a squirrel, but his grandmother. We love a sense of humor. Brian began offering Deez Nutz processed peanuts with his family, and with substantial investment of time, money, and resources, has grown a national reputation and following within the processed nut industry. Mr. Beast is selling candy, not nuts. Okay. On July 15th, 2011, Brian submitted an intent to use application for trademark registration with the trademark register Deez Nutz. Application registration logo, Deez Nutz. And at the bottom, it says, everyone loves Deez Nutz. I mean, maybe everybody does love Deez Nutz. I'm not going to judge. On September 15th, 2012, the application was issued, registered. The trademark Deez Nutz was used in connection with processed nuts. Does nuts made into candy count as processed nuts for the USPTO? On October 26, 2017, the Section 8 renewal and Section 15 declaration of incontestability to Deez Nutz were filed with the PTO, both which were accepted by the PTO. Attached ownership. Let's see. We need more factual information. Building goodwill in Deez Nutz, because I'm not contesting that Deez Nutz has a trademark over Deez Nutz, but they are over processed nuts, not over candy, and I think that those are different. After registration, a lengthy and dedicated grassroots campaign of brand exposure began with Deez Nutz and products being placed in front of consumers at large gatherings. You're just swinging your nuts all over the place. In 2016, Deez Nutz was emblazoned on an RV and trailer as part of a grassroots marketing effort. Where did you park Deez Nutz then? And how big was the trailer that you were parking Deez Nutz with? Are you taking Deez Nutz to fairs, festivals, farmers markets? Where are you swinging Deez Nutz around? I need to know. Starting that year, the RV trailer and Deez Nutz products were regularly on tour and exposed. Come on! These lawyers, you're exposing where are you exposing Deez Nutz? Where Where are you exposing Deez Nutz? Come on now, Deez Nutz LLC versus that sock under the bed. Grab Deez Nutz on the side of the van. Does it say grab? Oh, it does. It absolutely says grab Deez Nutz. Carla, good eyes. Where are you exposing Deez Nutz also to the lawyers who decided that they needed to talk about Deez Nutz being exposed to consumers? Cheers. Cheers. Because I imagine when this client came to you and said, I need to protect Deez Nutz from Mr. Beast, that you immediately said, yes. I don't even care what the case is. Yes. Yes. Let's see where Deez Nutz were exposed. Oh, NASCAR. How very Florida. The National Peanut Festival in Alabama, the NASCAR Championship race in Florida, Daytona Beach Turkey Run at the Daytona International Speedway, the Cowboy Christmas Show in Las Vegas. Did Deez Nutz go over well at the Cowboy Christmas Show? I bet they did. The American Kennel Club National Championships in Orlando. Look, now, I don't know if the American Kennel Club has the kind of sense of humor you need to expose Deez Nutz to the proper market. I don't know. It's giving Sutton going to Magic Mike and being like, I'm on the board of the American Ballet Theater. I don't know. Does the American Kennel Club have a sense of humor? Anyone? The National Candy Gift and Gourmet Show in Philadelphia, the America's Mart in Atlanta, the Dallas World Trade Center in Dallas, the Louisville Gift Show in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, the ASD Trade Show in Las Vegas. You know, Las Vegas is all about exposing Deez Nutz. I get it. Matt said, Emily, please stop. I'm at work. I can't be laughing about Deez Nutz. Matt, can't stop, won't stop today, buddy. Sorry. They're exposing Deez Nutz at the Richmond International Speedway. They went to Talladega. I wonder how much Brian, and this is the benefit of owning a company. If Brian's like, you know who's going to laugh at this? People at NASCAR. And you know what I also like? NASCAR. This is like a win-win. Brian's like, hey, I'm marketing for the company. Guys, I'm getting an RV that's pimp as hell. I'm going to put grab Deez Nutz on the side of it. It's a business expense. And then I'm going to spend a year going to NASCAR. Cheers. And the accountants are like, business expense. This is the best fucking plan ever. Well played, Brian. The Florida Strawberry Festival, vintage market days all over the place. Are they vintage nuts? Oh, are there aged nuts? Are there mature nuts to be exposed? The Sweet Urban Music Fest, the Bodacious Bazaar in Hampton, Virginia. What is the Bodacious Bazaar? Are they selling Ringos at the Bodacious Bazaar? What's happening? Celebrate Fairfax, the Navy Exchange Mall, all over the place. The Bar and Wine Show in Las Vegas. The Sweet and Snack Law Nerds. Why does the Sweet and Snack Expo sound amazing? The Asian American Trade Council Trade Show in North Carolina, Playlist Live in Orlando. This sounds like a lot of fun. Brewfest, Southern Women's Show Series in Florida. Tell me they have a sense of humor. Springing the Blues Festival, Oktoberfest seems like a perfect market. The Vintage Market Days in Charlotte. The Groon Local Marketplace in New Braunfels, Texas. Garden Ridge Market Days, American Fitness Expo in Houston. How many nuts are they putting in their mouth at the American Fitness Expo? The National Association of Convenience Stores makes sense. The NFR Rodeo in Las Vegas. Brian, do you enjoy Vegas? No shade. Rock's Discount Vitamins NPC Show of Champions and Fit Expo in Florida. The Home and Garden Show. Dia de los Muertos Festival. Halloween Festival and Night Market. The NB Kids Fest. NPC Texas Cup and Fit Expo. After 8 of the preceding tour marketing efforts continue through today. Okay. In 2017, Deez Nutz began being carried in and that exclamation point retail locations in Florida, Georgia, Virginia, Bed Bath & Beyond retail locations in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Arizona. I mean, RIP Bed Bath & Beyond. But is Deez Nutz at Buc-ee's? Does Buc-ee's like Deez Nutz? I have questions. I have questions. I know, Drea, that canceled on the internet. They exposed Deez Nutz to kids. They admitted in their filing that they exposed Deez Nutz to kids. They said it. Absolutely said it. By 2019, Deez Nutz were being carried in over 100 ABC fine wine and spirit retail locations in Florida. In 2022, after an extensive process, which included submitting materials to Walmart, which included plaintiffs' future plans of offering a gourmet flavored peanut bar in connection with Deez Nutz, Walmart began carrying Deez Nutz in over 3,900 retail locations. Walmart is just carrying all Deez Nutz. Walmart was like, yes, let's grab Deez Nutz. Walmart is not easy. The process to get a product into Walmart is extensive. It is actually quite impressive. Walmart is like, we are not going to find out and we are not going to fuck around. Trying to get a product in Walmart is hard. Congratulations to Deez Nutz. It didn't take Mr. Beast long to end up in Walmart, and I wonder if that's why Deez Nutz is mad that Mr. Beast Deez Nutz is also being in Walmart. In June 2023, Walgreens began carrying Deez Nutz in Florida and Georgia. The next time I go to Florida, I am looking everywhere for Deez Nutz. Plaintiff's Deez, I'm sure you can buy it online, not as fun as finding it in a store. Plaintiff's Deez Nutz products are presently available nationwide through more than 100 wholesale distributors located in Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana. I'm not reading them all. Kansas through Wisconsin. Plaintiff's Deez Nutz manufactures and sells Cool Ranch, hot sriracha, dill pickle, extra spicy ghost pepper, hot cheddar, like spicy hot Cheetos, and nanner pudding. Nanner? You couldn't just have banana nuts? Oh, okay. And nanner pudding. You know what? We need some tahini flavored nuts. They're so good. After years dedicated to building goodwill under Deez Nutz mark, the Deez Nutz products today are distributed and sold across the United States, including over 3,000 Walmarts, and that's Bed Bath Beyond, Walgreens, ABC, 7-Eleven, and hundreds of independent retailers. Plaintiff actively and continuously enforces the rights to the Deez Nutz mark. Plaintiff has spent over $100,000 in product development, including flavor profiles. Over that amount of time, though, that seems kind of low. I mean, good on you. Deez Nutz has expended significant resources on marketing efforts to increase brand exposure. Increased exposure for Deez Nutz. That's what they want. That's what they want. In total, Deez Nutz has spent over $600,000 on direct marketing costs alone for Deez Nutz. Such costs do not account for their in-house marketing performed on the internet. What, you're saying it doesn't cost a lot to expose Deez Nutz on the internet? I needed the Manscaped sponsored for today. I didn't realize that I needed it, but I needed it. Because if you're exposing Deez Nutz on the internet, Manscaped. Since starting a business in 2011, sales under the Deez Nutz mark have constantly grown year over year. Deez Nutz are getting bigger. How big is too big for Deez Nutz? Expected sales for 2023 to be between $4 and $5 million. Does Deez Nutz have an OnlyFans? You guys are on the same, we're all in the same place. Man, why don't they just go to OnlyFans? I don't know. Deez Nutz needs to go OF. The internet is saturated with nuts. Oh, Nightbot, not you. Big isn't always better when it comes to nuts. I mean, they're exposing Deez Nutz on the internet. In December, a Google review of Deez Nutz was left by a user named Noah, who rated Deez Nutz 5 stars and left a single comment, nut. A true and accurate depiction of the Google review is attached and incorporated as Exhibit B. Noah, I'm sure you're like 14 years old. But the fact that your Google review that simply said nut ended up in a federal fucking lawsuit is absolutely sending me. So Noah, cheers to your humorous Google review of Deez Nutz. We would like to learn when you were first exposed to Deez Nutz. Oh dear. Upon information and belief, Noah belongs to a business associate of James Donaldson, who is also popularly known as Mr. Beast. What? Due to the use of Mr. Beast's logo on the account profile picture, this took a turn. They think Mr. Beast's team is review botting Deez Nutz. Do you know how many, attorneys, do you know how many people across the internet put the Mr. Beast logo in their profile picture? We've had a plethora of fake Mr. Beast in this chat. Crispy Critter. Oh my God. Where did the free marketing Deez Nutz could farm from this stream? Pop them in your mouth 2 at a time. I know this is a plot twist I wasn't expecting. Would you say that Deez Nutz are a little salty? I don't know, maybe the nanner ones aren't. But they left 5 stars. Is that a review bomb? I don't know. Why are they saying they think Mr. Beast is associated with Noah, who simply put nut? I have so many questions. In February 2023, Deez Nutz first learned that defendant Feastables was using a confusingly similar and phonetically equivalent mark, Deez Nutz, with the Z's. Deez with the Z's, with the manufacture and sale of chocolate peanut butter bars or chocolate peanut bars. On February 22nd, 2023, Deez Nutz sent a cease and desist to counsel for Feastables, demanding that Feastables stop selling Deez Nutz. Stop injecting the marketplace with Deez Nutz, Mr. Beast. Only our nuts. We're Doe's Nuts. We want to be Deez Nutz, and you can be Doe's Nuts. You can't. It's confusingly similar. The cease and desist is attached at Exhibit C. On April 4th, Feastables responded through counsels and advised that they would continue using the Deez Nutz mark in connection with their sale of chocolate peanut bars. Their response should have simply been nuts. Period. Or balls. One of the two. That is it. Nothing more than I am disinclined to acquiesce to your request. Just nuts. On May 15th, Deez Nutz sent a subsequent letter to Feastables reiterating its meritorious claims and concerns. I don't know about that. Creating a likelihood of confusion amongst the party's consumers. I don't know if anyone's looking at the Deez Nutz logo. Hold on. Where is it? I don't know if anyone's looking at Deez Nutz and confusing it for Mr. Beast's Deez Nutz. Hold on. We're just...
What's the biggest?
Deez... Google's like, girl, are you okay? Like, what is happening? See, even when I Google Deez Nutz, here's the thing. Both come up. It's not as if you're not getting Deez Nutz, the company that sells the nuts, other products, Dunkin' merch knockoff, and Mr. Beast bars. Like, they're all coming up. So you don't even have a situation where Deez Nutz has gotten like just trounced in the Google search results. So when you Google Deez Nutz, you're getting a mix of both, but there's the nanner one. I mean, they sure did that. They sure did that. I might need to pickle these nuts. So I don't know if this is a real issue. I don't know if people are confused between the pickled nuts and Mr. Beast's nuts. Hold on. Where is Deez Nutz's website? This is the logo for Deez Nutz with Miss D. Everyone loves Deez Nutz. Are we confused between this and, the Mr. Beast packaging of that? Like, are we as consumers confused? Also, for those of you that aren't sure about where we stand with the Deez Nutz branding, they're not selling peanuts.
Thing you've ever made.
The biggest thing I've ever made. Probably Deez Nutz.
When Jimmy told me about Deez Nutz, I knew it was going to be huge.
When Jimmy first told me about Deez Nutz, I thought he was crazy.
I love Deez Nutz.
Same.
I keep a pair on me at all times.
Deez.
Are we confused, chat, about which Deez Nuts are which? Kelly's like, I stand with Deez Nuts. Not confused. All right, we're not done with Mr. Beast's nuts. Apparently.
Deez Nutz taste so good.
It's like this amazing peanut butter chocolate flavor.
Nut tap.
That's good nuts.
You have to try Deez Nutz. Go to Feastables.com right now if you want some nuts in your mouth.
I cut it before it finished saying if you want some nuts in your mouth. But they never, did they say grab these nuts? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if the reasonable consumer is confused between the Deez Nutz candy bar and Deez Nutz. I did Google Deez Nutz. But even when I Google Deez Nutz properly, it still comes up. But so do a ton of other things. Because the first thing that comes up is a sponsored website that says Try My Nuts that is selling Deez Nutz. So Try My Nuts is actually paying for search rankings above Deez Nutz to sell Deez Nutz to you. So anyway, I'm just saying, I don't know if the consumer is actually confused or if this lawsuit is worth the marketing budget to have everybody talking about the difference between Deez Nutz and Deez Nutz. More than a decade after plaintiffs' respective adoption and use of the Deez Nutz mark on its various nuts and apparel, defendant initiated use of the following Deez Nutz product, which is being sold in connection with defendants' house brands, Feastables, and Mr. Beast. Did you sue the book, though? Because these are also nuts. Written by Mark Thunder. Are we mad? We're not done. Plaintiff Deez Nutz trademark Deez Nutz is valid and registered with the USPTO. They have continuously used Deez Nutz in connection with business. Defendant Feastables has used and continues to use its confusingly similar and phonetically equivalent Deez Nutz mark in Florida and elsewhere and has created confusion. Are any of you actually confused? Plaintiff Deez Nutz never authorized or consented to the use by Feastables of Deez Nutz or gave defendant permission to make copies of Deez Nutz. Mr. Beast, you have lost permission for Deez Nutz. No nuts for you. They want to expose Deez Nutz to Talladega, but they do not want Mr. Beast using Deez Nutz. Defendant Feastables' misconduct in using Deez Nutz on the same or closely related goods tarnishes and disparages Deez Nutz. It's more confusing talking about than it is Googling. Oh, plaintiff's Deez Nutz has been and continues to be injured by defendant's nuts. Since the announcement of defendant Feastables of its chocolate peanut bar Notice they don't say peanut butter. They say chocolate peanut bar. Deez Nutz online marketing and social media has been forced to regularly address consumer inquiries and statements regarding the association between Deez Nutz and Deez Nutz. Not calling Jimmy Donaldson James Stephen Donaldson. They're like your full government name, Jimmy. Full name. Jimmy, they are mad at your nuts. In many cases, Deez Nutz has been baselessly and falsely accused of infringing on the intellectual property of Donaldson. Donaldson's average fan is like 11. I can see Donaldson's fans who don't understand that people have been saying Deez Nutz since well before they were born is like, but you're nuts. Those nuts are copying Jimmy's Deez Nutz. No, we all the nuts can live harmoniously together. As an example, Composite Exhibit F is a true and accurate depiction of such communications received on Instagram and TikTok. Okay. Plaintiff has neither the online reach nor the resources necessary to counter the confusion being wrought by Jimmy's nuts. I paraphrased. We've also noticed confusion in the text search bars for retail websites that carry our product, which includes typing Deez Nutz into the search for Walmart, includes numerous suggestions, including Mr. Beast Bar, Mr. Beast Chocolate Feastival, Candy Bar, which are associated with Deez Nutz, not those nuts. Exhibit G. Likelihood of confusion, damages. We're not going to go to the counts. We are going to go to the composite. Again, normally we would deep dive into Deez Nutz with the different counts and causes of action, but the case is settled. So we are not going to do that. All right. Those are the trademark registrations. I need the response to the cease and desist. If it doesn't just say nuts, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed, but I also understand most lawyers like their licenses. I mean, if it had been written by the judge, why is there just a bag of peanut butter jelly nuts? Because it's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly in a baseball bat. Sorry, peanut butter jelly peanuts. I am lost. Are you expanding your trademark? It doesn't matter. The case settled. Emily, don't get distracted by the pictures. More peanut butter and jelly nuts. More trademarks. Totally distracted. But I'm looking for the... I'm looking... This is a big display of Deez Nutz. These nuts are exposed at whatever retailer this is. This is Deez Nutz Jacksonville and all of their nuts and those nuts and some nuts over here. But it doesn't look anything like Feastables. I'm just saying, thank you for the display of Deez Nutz, your intent to use. Congratulations on your trademark. Where is your cease and desist? Oh my God. Yay, trademarks. Everybody loves Deez Nutz. Oh, Grab Deez Nutz is their website. I mean, well done. Cindy, I'm singing On Display with you. On display, on display. Does Deez Nutz give tours? It might. I need to Control F, but I don't know if it'll come up. There's the notice of allowance. That's not the cease and desist. I don't remember what exhibit it was is the problem. Which exhibit? Hold on. I'm going to scroll faster. Shauna said, if you don't immediately start singing that song whenever you hear peanut butter and jelly, we can't be friends. Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly. Why are you disparaging this company? I don't understand why. You're joking, right? Wolf gangs, I can't read tone, so I'm not sure what you mean. I'm guessing that you're joking. We're going to go with that. Was it too many Deez Nutz jokes? It's food court. We're talking about Deez Nutz all day. Exhibit B, Google review of Deez Nutz. Well, somebody wasn't happy with Deez Nutz. Debbie was pissed. Worst dill pickle peanuts ever, ma'am. No salt and definitely no pickle. I can't find a way to contact them. Hey, Debbie, we would like you to be happy when these nuts are in your mouth. So we will be sending you more pickle nuts, I'm sure is their response. Where is the nuts review? Noah, nut. Okay. Somebody named Fruit Salad left a review that just said Deez Nutz in your mouth. Touche. They have stun seed. The nerdiness of that review. That 5-star review is 10 out of 10 for me. It seems along the lines of all the other. I'm disturbed. I have questions. So juicy. Aiden, what is happening? Okay. Exhibit C, Deez Nutz correspondence. Is this our cease and desist from Mr. Mark Young? As counsel for Deez Nutz, we have learned that Beast Holdings recently began using the mark Deez Nutz in connection with candy bars. Beast Holdings' use of Deez Nutz violates Deez Nutz trademarks rights. The reviews are funny as hell. I'm not mad. The photo was something. Yeah, we're so not done. This is where the Debbie Downer name maybe came from. She was like, oh, they're nuts. The nuts aren't salty enough in my mouth. Debbie, you could have at least left a 1-star review and had some sense of humor about it. Deez Nutz owns the federally registered incontestable Deez Nutz mark for processed nuts. Deez Nutz has used Deez Nutz mark in commerce long before Beast Holdings' recent adoption of Deez Nutz. Deez Nutz also owns the Grab Deez Nutz and Try My Nuts domain names, through which the company maintains a web presence and promotes Deez Nutz. Mr. Beast's nuts infringe on Deez Nutz. While Mr. Beast Holding uses Z instead of S, such common misspellings do not prevent confusion. Additionally, Beast Holding goods are closely similar to the products sold by Deez Nutz. Both businesses sell snack foods and are direct competitors. I don't know, man. If you want a chocolate peanut bar as a snack, you're not going to buy dill pickle flavored peanuts. Like, they're not. Okay. I'm not going to argue this case. It's resolved. We're going to get to the resolution. Please do not underestimate Deez Nutz resolve. Anyone need a line for a dating profile? This feels like it's fantastic. Please do not underestimate Deez Nutz resolve. Deez Nutz has gone to great lengths to develop Deez Nutz and cultivate the trade identity and goodwill associated with it. Through years of effort, Deez Nutz is a well-known brand and the company's crown jewel. It is their sparkling nut. Deez Nutz is firmly committed to protecting its investments and guarding against likelihood of confusion. I don't think it's confusing. While Deez Nutz does not object to fair competition on the merits, like Deez Big Nuts, it will vigorously oppose any encroaching marks and attempts to trade on Deez Nutz' goodwill or dilute the distinctiveness of Deez Nutz. Mr. Beast Holdings' clear infringement, potential liability exposure, and the cost of defending, we sincerely believe that Beast Holdings' interest would be best served by complying with Deez Nutz. Paraphrased. Exhibit D, correspondence. Please tell me they just responded nuts. They didn't. I'm disappointed. I realize that lawyers have to lawyer, but I just am so tempted to just nuts. Dear Mark, we are in receipt of your February 27th demand letter sent to Beast Holdings regarding the use of Deez Nutz in connection with Feastables. Beast Holdings does not manufacture Feastables, Mr. Beast chocolate bars, nor does Deez Nutz in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, the trademark infringement allegations in your letter as to Beast Holdings are moot. Nevertheless, we represent Feastables with respect to its worldwide intellectual property matters. We respond on its behalf to the allegations. So they're like, Beast Holdings is the wrong company. But all of that said, Feastables is the right company, and we represent them too, not in common. Your letter asserts Deez Nutz, paraphrased, owns a trademark Deez Nutz that covers processed nuts and owns the domain names Grab Deez Nutz and Try My Nuts, through which the company maintains a web presence. Based on your assertion, you allege the use of Deez Nutz in connection with candy bar infringes Deez Nutz trademark rights for the following reasons. The marks are identical in all material respects in appearance, sound, and connotation. Well, connotation, yes. Appearance, maybe not. Feastables chocolate bars are closely similar to Deez Nutz processed nuts products because the two are snack foods. The party's goods are offered in the same geographical areas to the same consumers. Yes, people who enjoy Deez Nutz in their mouth might like some variety in the type of nuts they put in their mouth. Sometimes they might want the chocolate peanut Deez Nutz. Sometimes they might want the pickled nuts. I don't know. People who want to giggle are going to giggle. Immediately cease and desist all use of Deez Nutz. Immediately destroy all snack foods in Feastable's possession, custody, or control bearing Deez Nutz. Provide written certification and compliance. Lastly, it's worth noting that you state Deez Nutz is firmly committed to protecting its investment and guarding against the likelihood of confusion, while Deez Nutz does not object to fair competition. Respectfully, Feastables rejects all aspects of Deez Nutz allegations and demands and would like you to... It can just write its own. As an initial matter, your statement that Deez Nutz is firmly committed to protecting its investment in the mark and will vigorously oppose any encroaching marks is inconsistent with your client's history of enforcement efforts, or more appropriately, lack thereof. A cursory review shows the mark Deez Nutz was registered on September 25th, 2012, with a claimed first use in commerce of March 5th, 2012. Despite your statement that Deez Nutz vigorously opposes encroaching marks, there is not one record of a trademark trial or appeal board opposition or cancellation proceeding involving that registration, yet the following marks have been filed subsequently. So this is actually a fair argument that Deez Nutz is allowing other companies to use the trademark Deez Nutz, including Deez Nutz for seasonings, barbecue, and dry rub, so rub Deez Nutz. These nuts, covering candied nuts, flavored nuts, prepared nuts, that's actually closest. They're actually selling nuts under These Nuts, not Deez Nutz, but similar. Milk Deez Nutz, which is nut paste for making beverages and nut milk, all different than a candy bar. What is even more problematic with your statement about Deez Nutz is the extensive and profuse common law use of Deez Nutz in connection with nuts as well as other food and beverage products. While not as misleading as your own Google search for Deez Nutz chocolate, a simple Google search for Deez Nutz, or Deez Nutz food products, and so on, show such extensive and profuse use, meaning Deez Nutz is prolific on the internet, and the internet is full of Deez Nutz, so you can't actually say that it's confusing because it's now just a common usage. Deez Nutz, wait, let's see. One such hit was the website deeznutz.store that sells nuts under the brand name Deez Nutz, with a Z, that appears located in a town outside Jacksonville, Florida, where Deez Nutz, with an S, is located. If Deez Nutz, it's funny they don't put the apostrophe in it. If Deez Nutz is not concerned about the extensive and profuse use of Deez Nutz and Deez Nutz in connection with nuts, Deez Nutz, which based on your letter would be a direct competitor, in addition to not being concerned about the use of other food and beverage products, Feastable sees no reason for concern regarding use in connection with a peanut butter chocolate bar, aside from the fact that the registrations and extensive and profuse common law use of Deez Nutz and Deez Nutz contradicts your client's alleged vigorous use of Deez Nutz. They support the argument that Deez Nutz is extremely weak. Those nuts are limp. Stop it. Oh, it's not vigorous. In fact, the lawyers are saying they support the argument that Deez Nutz is extremely weak and entitled to very little protection. You got to put your nuts where your mouth is what they're trying to say. In addition, your assertion that Feastable's use of Deez Nutz infringes on your client's trademark Deez Nutz simply does not reflect reality. The legal question is not as easy as whether the use of Deez Nutz in connection with a candy bar infringes Deez Nutz rights with nuts, but rather the starting question is whether Feastable's use of Deez Nutz in connection with a peanut butter flavored chocolate bar is branded Under the mark Feastables, the Mr. Beast logo and Mr. Beast and the Mr. Beast lightning bolt is likely to cause confusion or mistake to deceive customers about Deez Nutz. We don't want any deception in Deez Nutz. You need it to be clear where Deez Nutz came from. That's what they're saying. They're like, look, nobody's going to confuse Doe's Nuts with Deez Nutz. I'm going to keep making that joke. More simply stated, as illustrated below, a side-by-side comparison of the products and packaging demonstrates that in context, there's no likelihood of consumer confusion. Deez Nutz infringement allegation. Oh, they went into all of the law, all of the breakdown of why these are not going to stand. Accordingly, we respectfully decline to acquiesce to your request. No. Respectfully, we decline your invitation to modify Feastables products or take any further action with regard to your demand letter. Very truly yours, Paul. Take Deez Nutz and get rid of Deez Nutz. Let's see. Deez Nutz LLC correspondence. Deez Nutz wrote back. New counsel. We have been recently retained by Deez Nutz with respect to the matter. Please direct future correspondence regarding Deez Nutz to us. We write to further. We write regarding the cease and desist. Deez Nutz has developed a strong reputation for quality. Anyway, I'm not getting into it. We're not getting into the trademark. We're getting into the composite consumer confusion in social media. That's what we needed to know. Document title, we're so excited to announce that you can now grab Deez Nutz at Walgreens from Instagram. I like that they actually pulled these properly. The lawyers did a really good job grabbing these to make sure that they would stand up for trial if they needed to go to trial and not just screenshotting shit. Deez Nutz snack packs in Walgreens. Fantastic. We're so excited to announce that you can now grab Deez Nutz. What a new and novel joke. Only Florida, handful of stores in Georgia. I mean, how many handfuls? 1 or 2? Y'all don't have any flavors I want like now, but how can I say no to a sweet old Southern lady on the logo? I'll have to nab some of Deez Nutz for my mom in California to take back home. I can't find it at Walgreens. Where am I? Can I grab Deez Nutz in South Florida? Doesn't Mr. Beast have Deez Nutz? Deez Nutz has been in business since 2012 and owns a federally registered trademark rights to its Deez Nutz. Deez Nutz is not related to the recently released candy bar by Mr. Beast Feastables. Mr. Beast came out with his chocolate bar this year, nearly 12 years after we launched. Ooh, Deez Nutz are salty. 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 Debbie Downer, you were wrong. These nuts are salty as hell on social media. We have nothing to do with Mr. Beast. Obviously, this was made from my generation. I mean, same. Grab Deez Nutz says, you and anyone with a pulse likes tasty snacks. Look, their other responses are cheeky. I don't understand why this one is so salty about Mr. Beast. Just be cheeky and be like, okay, well, if Mr. Beast wants to come for Deez Nutz, we'll just have to see. Which ones do you want in your mouth? Like, the rest of it's so cheeky, and then it gets real salty. This is more Instagram posts. Come on down to Walmart and grab Deez Nutz. Where are all the comments about Mr. Beast? I'm not. Oh, somebody added Mr. Beast. At Mr. Beast. Here's a fun factoid. Deez Nutz has been registered since 2012 and owns a federally registered trademark. Same response. Okay. There was one comment. What are you posting on TikTok, Deez Nutz? Grab Deez Nutz at Walmart. We don't sell them at mine. Already bought 2. I bought the banana pudding mutts a couple months ago. They were fire. I see one person tagged Mr. Beast. Another person, Mr. Beast. Contrary to popular belief, there's no affiliation. We trademarked the name 12 years ago. He released his nuts are new. Our nuts are old. Did you know Deez Nutz backwards is stun seed? Seed stun? You totally didn't copy Mr. Beast chocolate bar. There's fake Mr. Beast brand. There's a few, but it's not like they're getting flooded with comments about Mr. Beast. Really? I just don't. I don't know if this is that big of a brand problem for them. It's kind of funny. But I don't see how many, they're not getting flooded with comments. Do you guys see them getting, I don't see them getting flooded with comments. Are we mad at Jesus? This comment says, I love Christ. And apparently Deez Nutz. So like there's room for everybody. I don't know what people are so salty about. All right. We're going to go to, these are the Walmart search bar suggestions. Deez Nutz in food. Deez Nutz, look, Mr. Beast bar, dill pickle, ghost pepper. Oh, these are both brands living side by side. Okay. We could go to the full response, but we are over 2 hours in. We are going to pare down the full response to the lawsuit and go through some of it because a lot of it was in that letter. And then we're going to go to the settlement of this lawsuit. This is the opposition to motion for permanent or for preliminary injunction. Statement of facts, history of Deez Nutz. These Mr. Beast's nuts, not Grandma Deez Nutz, but like Mr. Beast's nuts. This is the response from Mr. Beast. But I'm ready for the history of Deez Nutz that comes in this opposition because they're trying to get an injunction. The phrase Deez Nutz was originally popularized by hip-hop artist and producer Dr. Dre after he released his first studio album, The Chronic, great album. The 6th track on the album is called Deez Nutz. Within a year, Deez Nutz gained popularity among hip-hop and R&B artists. In 1993, the expression Deez Nutz appeared all over my junior high in high school. Within a year, Deez Nutz gained popularity among hip-hop artists and R&B artists. In 1993, the expression Deez Nutz appeared in the titles of songs by rapper ALT and the R&B group Escape. Millions of people on the internet have come to use the phrase Deez Nutz as an irreverent way to interject humor or sarcasm into or end a conversation. In fact, Deez Nutz ultimately landed in Urban Dictionary and is defined as a euphemism and slang term. More recently, examples of mainstream use of the phrase include use as an internet meme, as well as a 15-year-old Iowa teenager who launched a satirical 2016 presidential campaign under the name Deez Nutz. Plaintiff's Deez Nutz mark. 20 years after the phrase went mainstream, plaintiff decided to utilize the lowbrow humor of Deez Nutz meme. We love lowbrow humor. We love lowbrow humor. To sell nuts under the mark Deez Nutz. However, plaintiff's idea was not original. In fact, dozens of businesses, including other snack food businesses selling nuts, have used Deez Nutz mark or some form of it in connection with their goods. Mr. Beast Feastables and Deez Nutz. With over 180 million global YouTube subscribers, Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, is the #1 subscribed to YouTube creator in the world. Declaration by Reed. Okay. I don't think that's true. I don't think he's the #1 most subscribed to YouTube creator in the world, but maybe if they're defining creator as like a independent creator and not a corporate, I don't know. I think that anyway. Pish posh. Forbes recognized him as the #1 top creator of 2022 and the #1 highest paid YouTube star of 2022. He's received accolades such as the Kid Choice Awards, not for Deez Nutz, from Nickelodeon and Creator of the Year Award from the Steamy Awards for the 3rd consecutive year. Yeah, every year they're just like Steamy Award Streamy Award goes to Mr. Beast. Didn't Mr. Beast say on social media, can you just let somebody else win? Like, just stop giving me streamies. Like, I'm a YouTube creator. It's fine. Just stop it. Just last month, there were 647 organic mentions of Mr. Beast across social platforms in 32 countries. How do you even track that? I'm fascinated. To put this in perspective, Beyonce, an iconic figure herself, had 877 organic mentions. I didn't have them comparing Mr. Beast to Beyonce on my bingo card, but here we are. Mr. Beast is one of the most well-known influential brands on YouTube and the internet. To leverage the famous Mr. Beast brand, Donaldson partnered with Feastables to help build what he hopes will become the biggest confection brand on the planet. That tracks, because Mr. Beast's goal as a YouTuber was to be the biggest YouTuber on the planet. Feastables originally launched on Feastables.com January 29th, 2022, and expanded to retail in September 2022 with a nationwide launch in Walmart. So it took them, 9 months to go from launch of a product to Walmart? Sometimes things can be sped up if you are insanely famous. From its original milk chocolate bar, Feastables now sells various confection products such as gummies, the Carl gummies, cookies, and a variety of chocolate bar flavors. Feastables engages in extensive paid media promotions of the Feastables and Mr. Beast marks. It does not invest in the promotion of individual product flavors such as Deez Nutz. Feastables' core goal is the development and promotion of Feastables and Mr. Beast marks. As a result of its efforts and Mr. Beast's fame, Feastables product sales, including its well-known Mr. Beast bars, are considerable. The Feastables and bars mark has continued to be well-known and synonymous with quality. It's synonymous with Deez Nutz. Or maybe it's not, and that's what they're fighting over. The Mr. Beast bar Deez Nutz flavor. In early 2022, Feastables created a peanut butter flavored chocolate bar. It selected the name Deez Nutz due to its popularity as a common slogan, its direct reference to the product being sold, the peanut ingredient in the peanut butter chocolate bar, and because it believed its audience would think it was a funny play on a well-known and widely used meme. And the parents of your target audience grew up in the 90s. As Mr. Beast's audience is made up almost entirely of internet-savvy young people, 11-year-olds, it's made up of 11-year-olds who think it's hilarious to yell, Deez Nutz. Trust. Defendant used the Deez Nutz phrase as an homage to online culture, where it had exponentially multiplied in popularity and use. The Deez Nutz flavor, as well as Feastables' other chocolate bar products, are sold on Feastables websites, Walmart, Walmart.com, 7-Eleven and Speedway, Kroger, Amazon, Target, and Target.com. Also sold in nearly half a dozen countries throughout the world. I wonder how Deez Nutz translates to half a dozen countries. Feastables chocolate bars are typically sold in retail in the candy aisle. They're not sold in the same aisle as, and are often many aisles away from, nuts and nut-based snack foods. To date, defendant is unaware of any consumer having been confused as to the association between Deez Nutz and Deez Nutz. They go into the legal standard for a preliminary injunction, likelihood of confusion. We saw preliminary injunction when we covered Haley Page, and the preliminary injunction was granted. Let's see. In contrast, Deez Nutz is a flavor name of the defendant's peanut butter bar, so they're contrasting the difference between the company name Deez Nutz with different flavors versus the flavor name of Deez Nutz that is a Feastables Mr. Beast bar, and then go on into the legal standards with regard to the preliminary injunction, which is what Deez Nutz was asking for. Deez Nutz wanted to stop those nuts from being sold. However, they then reached a resolution. So I know that the internet and all of the media headlines are like, Mr. Beast loses Deez Nutz. Mr. Beast did not lose Deez Nutz. They settled, or they resolved the case. This causes before the court on a joint motion for entry of stipulated judgment. Joint motion for entry of stipulated judgment. Deez Nutz and Deez Nutz agreed what they were going to deal with Deez Nutz. So nobody lost. They settled. Joint motion for entry of stipulated judgment granting permanent injunction against Feastables, filed November 17th, 2023. In the motion, the parties request entry of proposed final order granting permanent injunction against Feastables. And represent that the parties, quote, have agreed to the entry of the final order granting permanent injunction freely and voluntarily after consulting with legal counsel of their choosing. They settled. That's it. Nobody won. Nobody lost. They're just like, oh, we're fucking done. The court reviewed the proposed permanent injunction and questioned the basis for the party's proposal, and that the court retained jurisdiction to enforce their private settlement agreement. Mr. Beast did not lose. They settled. Following the court's inquiry, the party withdrew Deez Nutz. The parties withdrew the request and filed a revised proposed permanent injunction, notice of withdrawal of Deez Nutz. Upon review of the revised proposed permanent injunction, the court finds it appropriate to grant the relief requested. You have been relieved of Deez Nutz. Accordingly, with minor additional revisions, the court will approve the revised proposed permanent injunction and enter it in this case. Ordered. The joint motion for entry of stipulated judgment granting permanent injunction against defendants' festivals, as modified by the notice of withdrawal, is granted. The court will enter the revised permanent injunction. So the revised permanent injunction, final order granting permanent injunction. See, if nobody read the first one, then you wouldn't have known that this was not a loss, that this was a revision. But most lawyers are going to look at something that was filed just a few months ago and go, there's no way they've resolved a trademark dispute that fast. With the court granting it, this was resolved. They settled. This cause is before the court. On August 25th, plaintiff filed the complaint. We just went over it. As set forth in the modified joint motion, plaintiff and defendant have agreed to the entry of this final order. It's a settlement. It's ordered that plaintiff has maintained the presumption of validity of its federal registered trademark, Deez Nutz, which identifies processed nuts. The court directs that upon receiving actual notice of this order, defendant and its respective members, like the company, let's see. Literally, the defendant cease selling Deez Nutz. It's further ordered that for a period of 18 months, this court shall retain jurisdiction over the action for purposes of implementing and enforcing the injunction. What I imagine happened in the settlements, they absolutely pulled out. So no, they absolutely pulled out. They withdrew, they settled. It's nice when litigants get along. Look, Deez Nutz was like, we're sick of those nuts and we're just not going to fight it. I'm sure there were other reasons that they decided not to fight it, but this was a settlement choice not to fight it. Trademark battles take quite a long time. So when I saw, it's like, there's no way the court ruled on this without it. But all of the headlines are literally this: YouTuber Mr. Beast loses Deez Nutz lawsuit. No, Mr. Beast settled the Deez Nutz lawsuit. And I imagine the settlement involves a ramp down period of not manufacturing new product, but selling out of the product that already exists instead of fighting this thing for 3 years. I don't know if they ever intended that Deez Nutz would be more than kind of a gag gift or a gag product. I don't know what their brand had in mind for it, but obviously they weren't too precious about Deez Nutz because they were willing to let Deez Nutz go and let those nuts continue to sell their nuts so that they can just settle. But I agree with you. Settlement isn't losing. Grass folks said Mr. Beast decided not to bankrupt a small business. Absolutely that. Lyndon said new header, Deez Nutz gets happy ending. Deez Nutz settles for compromise. Question, are you saying Deez Nutz are in an open relationship? I think so. Gagging on Deez Nutz, yes. Absolutely. So they did, Drea, they did loosen up their grip on Deez Nutz. So I'll eventually stop seeing Mr. Beast nuts in my grocery store. Yes, you will. So I think what happened when Deez Nutz decided to settle this lawsuit is they agreed to sell out of the product that they had so they didn't have to destroy product, which always seems tremendously wasteful. It's like you're mad over a trademark, but why would you just destroy food? Let it just ramp down. And then they will probably name whatever their peanut butter bar is something different, kind of the way that we saw at the very beginning of the stream when God, my brain has stopped. When they changed the name to Dead Millionaire for the water, they're just like, we're not going to fight you over Armless Palmer, so we're just going to change it to Dead Billionaire. What Mr. Beast will launch next, who knows? But I don't think it's worth their time and energy to fight over Deez Nutz anymore, and that's why they settled the Deez Nutz lawsuit. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think it's something that happens in companies all the time. Lots of trademark fights like this get resolved. CEG, Ringo and Ringo, regarding a drummer and a sex toy, because it does happen. Brand protection is a thing. I don't think there was a lot of confusion here. I think there was room to fight it. And I mean, the entendre of Deez Nutz, look, these have been sent by law nerds. I have Deez Big Nuts. Candy's nuts come in the morning each day. And put Tony's nuts in your mouth. These were unironically on my bookshelf from the law nerds. It's not as if the joke hasn't permeated most aspects of society. And I think Mr. Beast's lawyers had a really good argument that Deez Nutz had not protected its brand in a way that you can say that this candy bar is infringing more than the 9 other Deez Nutz trademarks or whatever. So that's where we're at. So happy holidays, law nerds. Hold on. Do we need to read the book? Normally those are on members only. But I feel like we're already demonetized. Friday Ketchup said, just start seeing Mr. Beast Burger come up on my Uber Eats app last week, not touching it with a 19-foot barge pole. Fair enough. We're gonna just swoop to questions and to the rest of our holiday shenanigans. And I think we need to do one of the books. One of the books. I feel like it's not maybe a Christmas party until we read a book. And we did on the members only stream this month read Hookers and Blow Save Christmas. We did talk about Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo. And what was the reindeer that we talked about? Was it a reindeer? The Italian reindeer? I don't even remember. My brain has stopped. But that's in the app. So if you would like to see this month's if you would like to see this month's members only live stream and you are not a member, it is Dominic. Thank you, Kate. Dominic the Donkey. That's right. Because we went from Wonky Donkey. That's right. We went from Wonky Donkey to Dominic the Donkey. Hee haw, hee haw. A lot happened on December's members only live stream. If you are in the app, you have access to December's members only live stream, even if you are not a member on the channel or on Patreon, because it's a gift to all of us. And it's unhinged. So if you want to see this month's members only live stream, which includes Bonnie the Drama Llama and the rest of it, you need to head over to lawnerdapp.com because that you have access to it. So does Dr. Pete know about Dominic the Oh, I forgot to ask. I totally forgot to ask. But I will. Okay. But I think hi, Streamyard. Streamyard is like, we're so glad she's one of ours. Aren't you proud? We just finished Mr. Beast Deez Nutz, and now we're going to Deez Big Nuts because we have to. Good to see you. But we're taking this out of the members only live area and bringing it to, oh God, I hope this one isn't one of the look. Some of these go murdery real fast. I'm really hoping that this one does not go murdery real fast, but some of these get murdery. So aren't you glad? Look, you guys, I gotta be honest. StreamYard, good to see you in the chat. But if I hadn't been able to easily pull up legal documents on stream, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Like, Octo was like, we can find an easy solution. And I'm like, do not make me mess with the other solutions that are out there. And he's like, no, there's this thing called StreamYard. We can do that. And I was like, thank you. And that is literally how I felt comfortable starting to stream on YouTube, because StreamYard made it so easy. So StreamYard, accurate. Not going to show this content to our legal PR team. We were covering a lawsuit. There's also a book. We did actually cover a lawsuit. Still within lawsuits. Oh, Miguelina's right. When we moved to Q&A, I think we moved to Q&A. I had meant to gift memberships. We had so many memberships gifted, but I had also wanted to gift memberships. So I'm going to do that. For those of you that have hung out in the chat, hold on, let me make sure I can do it on my end. For those of you who have hung out in the chat, why won't it work? Oh, YouTube, let me gift memberships. Oh, there we go. User error, Emily. So we're going to give some memberships for the holidays, and those will be in the chat in a minute while we are talking about nuts, like these big nuts. Thank you, Miguelina. Should we sit back and enjoy this children's book parody about a squirrel named Dee and his friends' love for his big nuts. Each page will have you laughing and going nuts. Well, you let us decide that. This may look like a typical children's book, but once the book opens, you will enjoy references that only adults will understand. Thanks for the selling points. Deez Big Nuts makes a great gift for birthdays, anniversaries, bridal showers, wedding gifts, housewarming gifts, or just a great gift to make a friend or loved one giggle. Well, we're definitely going to giggle over nuts. We've been doing it all day. So thank you to the law nerd who sent me Deez Big Nuts. Written by Mark Thunder. Thanks, Mark Thunder. I appreciate your pen name, because I am guessing that that's what it is. This month's members only live stream, I did also read everybody's charts. So it was like that. Dee was a squirrel who had big nuts. He's just a squirrel trying to get a nut to move your butt on the dance floor. He's just trying to get a nut, man. Just trying to get a nut. His nutsack was so big that it would drag on the ground everywhere he went. That's unfortunate. Sir, maybe a satchel? Maybe a nut satchel? Maybe a nut backpack, so it's not dragging on the ground. Dee had a friend named Sarah who loved nuts. Sarah's real excited about nuts. Sarah would go around town trying to put everyone's nuts in her mouth. I mean, I imagine most people were just like, oh, okay. But everyone is looking at her. Okay. Sarah loved how big Deez nuts were. His nuts were her favorite. I mean, it's always good to have a favorite set of nuts, Sarah. We're here for it. They were the biggest nuts she had ever seen. Sarah, sometimes if it's all nuts, though, it's not quite as exciting. I mean, you need a balance, Sarah. Sometimes there needs to be a balance. She would play with his nuts all day, and sometimes even at night. When's a squirrel rest, Sarah? Sarah. Sometimes her mom would join. Excuse me? I told you these books take a turn, and I'm never prepared for the turns that they take. Why? Y'all? What is... Chat, Why does Sarah's mom want to join? I can't. Sometimes her mom would join. They would take turns holding Deez Nutz at night. Chat, for all of you asking if my mother is still watching, I'm going to go with I doubt it. I have not gotten any text messages saying, oh my God, I'm mortified. So I'm optimistic. Sometimes Sarah would even put both of Deez Nutz in her mouth at the same time. I mean, this isn't novel, Sarah. We saw you do this 2 pages ago before you brought your mom in on the action, which, ma'am, I don't know what kind of therapy squirrels go to, but do that immediately. Like, we've seen this trick before. She would giggle, her face would turn red, and then his nuts would come flying out. Why are you laughing at his nuts, Sarah? One day, someone ran up to his nuts and started poking them. With a stick, nonetheless. And he yelled, "Hey, jerk, get off my nuts." I know it says he said, but that's a yell face. So we're going with a yell. Why is that the voice D uses? I don't know. It just is. But don't just randomly start poking people's nuts. This book has taken a turn. Although Sarah loved Deez Nutz, she would sometimes kick them. What the fuck, Sarah?
Dee doesn't want you kicking his nuts. Your mother should have told you that. Don't kick the nuts. I mean, unless he's asking you to kick the nuts, but then it probably wouldn't be in the book. Sarah, maybe he's just like, I'm vanilla, baby. Please don't kick me in the nuts. This book has taken multiple turns.
She once kicked them so hard, she busted a nut. Sarah, that is abusive. Bitch, what are you doing? Don't bust the nut. Sarah. Dee was very sad that Sarah busted his nut. No shit. Sarah, how dare you do that to my nut? Ouch. Sarah, you need consent, Sarah. He just wanted Sarah to play nice with his nuts. That's not too much to ask. Sarah, why can't you just play nice with the nuts, huh? Go back to the putting the nuts in the mouth. Stop kicking them. What the fuck? One day when his nuts were feeling better, she took them out to lunch. Oh, just the nuts? What did you do with the nuts at lunch? Did you roast the nuts at lunch? What are you doing to the nuts, Sarah? She took the nuts to lunch and got peanut butter all over them. His nuts were so sticky. Sarah, I don't know if you can be entrusted with the nuts anymore. Chat. Agreed. Why is the nuts on a cookie sheet? I don't know. But obviously she put peanut butter on the nuts. And why are you putting the butter of a nut on another nut? This seems ill-advised. There are other things to put on nuts, Sarah. Peanut butter is a tough sell, but maybe ask Mr. Beast. He wanted peanut butter on these nuts. After that day, she knew she would need to play nice. It wasn't the kicking the nuts, it was the peanut butter that put you over the top. I have questions. Sarah, ma'am. Did Dee forgive you? Because all good squirrels know how to play nice with big nuts. I'm sorry. It took Sarah a minute to figure out how to play nice with the nuts because she kicked it so hard, she burst it and then got nut butter all over the nuts. Apparently she was trying to make nut butter with Deez Nutz because she cracked a nut. How is that the end? I'm unresolved. The end. What happened, Sarah? You guys are like, is that Sarah's mom at the end? Nope. That's another friend that she's sharing the nuts with. Apparently Sarah's going to share the nuts with everybody because this friend has like gold eyes, but Sarah's mom, I think, had green eyes. Hold on. We're going to go back because the squirrels, we got confused with the squirrels. I was a little shocked that Sarah's mom came in to the events, but no, Sarah's mom had green eyes. Sarah's mom only popped in once. I am unresolved. We need a Deez Nutz part 2 because I don't know if Dee has forgiven Sarah for kicking his nuts and then getting butter on them. She definitely did not play nice with the nuts. Look, we have done on our members only quite a lot of these books. Some of them take a very strange turn and you never quite know what you're in for. RK. Emotional damage. Oh man, absolutely don't kick the nuts. Just left us hanging. Yep, maybe he did sue her over the busted nut. Not the busted stuff. Return to Dee's big nuts. I'm going to critique this narrative. The conflict is not sufficiently character driven. Plot twist, Dee picked Sarah's friend over her due to previous nut trauma. I mean, did Deez Nutz heal or did it stay cracked? It seems like it healed. Anticlimactic. Yep. all the happy squirrels. All the happy squirrels. How do you feel about the nut trauma that we've all experienced together? So many questions. A whole new world for me. Okay, it's nut butter. You guys are so good. The one with the horses caused the most emotional damage. That's fair. The furry cup was pretty strange as well. Oh no. And the kitties one was not good either. The kitties one was very disturbing. The kitties one was tough. These are very difficult. The antlers are killing me with the glasses. She ran off with the nuts and shared with her friend. And it doesn't seem that she asked if she could share. Nut violence was not on my bingo. Book review. Nut. It's just a 10 out of 10. It's just a 10 out of 10. That comment is it is absolute perfect. Late to the Christmas party coming from New Zealand, drinking my coffee. We've been on an experience today. And it's basically just the chat killing me because I am laughing so hard. The YouTubers from Denmark said the chat makes the book even funnier. The chat makes everything even funnier. Chat is bae. Unsatisfying ending. What if Mr. Beast makes... We need the Fromunda cheese. We've definitely read Brenda's Beaver twice. There's a second Brenda's Beaver. We've done the second Brenda's Beaver as well. Oh my God. KW said not satisfied with the ending. What am I missing from not being a member? The evening streams tend to all have a new book and a different book each stream. It started with Linda's Tight Little Clam and went from there. It's yeah. There was also a mom in that one. Linda's mom was interesting. So Sarah has a questionable relationship with consent. Yeah, Sarah thought she could do whatever she wanted to those nuts. She was just like, these are my nuts now. No, Sarah. There's a book on Amazon by the same author called Want a Bone. I'm sure that Mark Thunder has a plethora of books. So it was fun. The book readings are always fun. Desiree said there was so much nut play, but we were still left unresolved. We were absolutely Ron Ralph. Unexpected premature climax is an unsatisfactory ending. Was Dee not allowed to come in the end? No, Tito's. Dee got peanut butter on the nuts, and then everybody seemed to move on. I don't know. There's a book of a snowplow and a tow truck called Hookers and Blow. Yes, we read that on this last Hookers and Blow Save Christmas is a Christmas classic, and we read it on the December members only stream because it is a Christmas classic. And that is on the app if you want to see that and you are not a member. The app. Weren't there consent issues with Linda's Clam too? I don't remember. There have been with a few of the books, but I don't know if Linda's Clam had consent issues. Linda's mother had issues. Linda's mom made her very insecure about her tight little clam. And then she asked for help. Wait, was it his own? I mean, the nuts don't look like peanuts. I don't know why there's one nut butter on another kind of nut. I don't know. Yeah. Linda's mom was the most, but Sarah's mom was joining in. Linda's mom was definitely not joining in. Definitely not. Hookers. It was Brenda's beaver that had consent issues. There we go. Well, the books. Yes, with the beaver shaming. Y'all. The amount of the parody children's book that exists, I have an entire shelf of them. I don't think we've done Put Tony's Nuts in Your Mouth on a members only live stream. Maybe we'll just do the other nut books. I think we did Candy's Nuts on a stream, but that was probably about a year ago. So the fact that all three of these are from different publishers, y'all, there is there's a big wide world out there of reading. For all of you that have read Unhinged, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just, so there's a lot of reading that happens. For everyone who has just gifted memberships, thank you so much. I appreciate you. For all of the new members, you now know what videos to go look for in the members only spaces. I appreciate all of you. We're going to get to some of the Q&A and the super chats. Happy holidays, Law Nerds. Today has been an adventure into Deez Nutz. And you know, all of the food lawsuits. Are we resolved? Are we resolved on the food lawsuits? I feel like we are. Like we've put, I think we case closed Pete's Hot Sauce last time because it was dismissed. The ongoing Taco Bell and Beast Burger, we still need to get back to Cookie Wars and a few of the others. But don't worry, we will continue bringing food court into the mix. As we move into the year. Now I'm hearing Esma screaming, now tell me where the twerking llama went. Oh man. The twerking llama is here somewhere. Food court wrapped just in time for Christmas this year. Food court has wrapped. I don't know if I can do pink sauce. It's so wild. It's just so bad. We just did the twerking llama. Okay, we'll do the twerking llama at the end of the stream, chat. I see you. We need to get back to Brad Pitt's winery. I tend to not do that just during food court because the law is so complex. It's not like a funny haha kind of a thing. The law is really complex. So let's get through and to some of our super chats. Bring the Emily thank you page. The Emily has been brought in. Merry Christmas to you as well. Wishing everyone the happiest of holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Law Nerd days. Got the yodeling pickle at the work gift exchange. Every courthouse I ever worked in always had a variety of Christmas events, from people bringing in breakfast for different days, lunches where everybody Ubered back to the office. And we also had like courtroom holidays. So each courtroom would have a holiday party for the staff in that courtroom, the bailiffs and the attorneys that regularly worked in there. One of them had a gift exchange, and somebody brought like a $50 or $75 gift card to Hooters. There was a Hooters near the courthouse. People frequented Hooters for lunch because wings. There was no Wingstop nearby. So the Hooters was quite popular. The all-out fight of a bunch of lawyers and court staff over the rules of the gift exchange and who could steal and how many times it could be stolen. The amount of people that wanted the Hooters gift card, I was like, I'm fine with the bottle of vodka, leave me be. But there was a whole lot of fighting over the Hooters gift card. It was so funny to see a bunch of lawyers debating the rules on a white elephant. And I'm like, just go to Hooters and get lunch, or do you not want to put it on your credit card? Is that the issue, that you need the Hooters gift card so it's not on your credit card? Is that the issue? In which case, just go buy a Hooters gift card at the grocery store. And then it looks like the grocery store. Anyway, it was too funny seeing everybody fight over the white elephant gifts and how many times it had been stolen. People were trying to hide it, like hide that they had the Hooters gift card. Some of the gift cards are always a big win. Like the Office and the iPod, exactly like the Office and the iPod, but the Hooters. I won a vintage Fart the Game board game at a white elephant this morning. That sounds amazing. Alcohol is popular. Alcohol is always popular. Alcohol is always popular. Let's see. Watching with my brother, who is a first-time watcher. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. It's not always like this. I love it when it is, but it's not always like this. My sister wanted to go hang out in the little Mennonite community not far from my house. I couldn't figure out why people kept giving me strange looks until I got home and realized I was wearing my Facts Not Fuckery shirt. Oh, dear. Amazing, Meta. I'm sorry. I'm sure it was lovely, though, for the holidays. Hello from Canada in bed. I need a Red Bull and maybe some Wingstop now. Merry Christmas, Baker fam. I am at the Charlotte airport. Not Charleston. Didn't Charleston have some flooding? It's wild. James said, I am a cosmetologist in South Carolina, but I've been a law nerd for longer, over a year now. I love it here. Thank you, James. I hope we keep you entertained at work, but not too entertained. Today was a lot. Merry Christmas to the greatest group of people in the whole wide web. I think so too. Drinking water, but should be drinking alcohol here in rainy California. Is it raining in California? We love it. Octo Nation, 37 months. Cheers, Octo. Nitro with cold foam is king. Nitro is so good. Happy Tuesdays. Happiest of holidays to all. Thank you guys for all of the well wishes. Happy holidays to all. I'm playing Elf and wrapping presents. I need to finish buying presents so I can wrap them. I've spent way too much time. I may have spent way too much on my mom because she kept saying, I would like this. And I keep seeing things that she would want or need. It happens at the holidays. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens for me. Jess says, happy solstice, y'all. Making mulled wine. Enjoy it. We also have events in Pokemon Sleep for the full moon later this month, which I love. The Good Sleep event. Barry said, best way to spend the holidays, with a giggle. And then when your family's like, so have you learned anything new? And you're like, oh my God, there was this lawsuit over Deez Nutz and Deez Nutz. Just derail all your family conversations this holidays. If you don't want to talk about something, bring up one of the ridiculous food lawsuits and ask people to debate. Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supremes. Not enough meat to slap around? Discuss. Tiny said, Emily, thank you for all the content. It was great study material. It was very helpful while I pursued my degree. And now, as of last Friday, I'm officially graduated with a computer science bachelor's. Congratulations. Happy to be here in the background as you study. Thank you for the gift of membership from your mom. I pronounce this right most of the time, Treacucinin, but I'm not going to get it today because there was whiskey in my coffee. It's my 35th birthday on Friday, so this doubles as an early birthday party for me. Hanukkah, Samech, Harbor Gani. I'm not going to get the rest of it. And Merry Christmas from BC. Thank you, because I'm bad at pronouncing things on a good day. Worse after whiskey. Happy everything. And thank you. Need to find my niche plus nails, but I love engaging with your content. Feels like React content is what's big. I need to deep dive SEO. I think Bedazzled Nails, do what you like. Don't worry about what SEO says. Do what you like. You'll find your people. Just do what you like. because some of the Reacts content is terrible and all of those trends die off. A lot of those Reacts creators were gaming creators before they were Reacts creators. Don't chase the algorithm. Find your people and talk to them. It's the best water ever. Just came from a recovery advocate. He sends his well wishes. Same. I love that he is getting into the courtrooms and getting things filmed. I think it's so cool. A tea shop I work with got a cease and desist over this too. And sometimes it's just too expensive to fight, right? And that's frustrating. Cindy, thank you for the gift of memberships. Taz, 37 months. Hi from Ireland, watching on a lunch break. Hope we didn't disrupt your workday too much. Mike said 19 months ago, I found this community because of a disagreement in the chat of a Yahoo article on Depp versus Heard. Because of that, I found my people. EDB mods and chat, you guys are the best. Love y'all. Mike, you are welcome here where we can have conversation about stuff. But I love that it was a Yahoo article. That's hilarious. Lacey said vanilla on the streets, spicy in the sheets. Y'all do whatever you want. I love it. Motion for Big Mac rap. Big Mac. We've played Big Mac rap before. Motion for Big Mac rap seconded. Big Mac. How many of y'all have seen the Big? Put a 1 in the chat if you don't know what we're talking about with the Big Mac rap. Just 1 in the chat. One of the things that took over my workday. Shania said they are suing my limp buns. Oh, there's a lot of you. Okay. We might have to. I'm really glad I'm eating lunch right now as we're on this topic. Well, we didn't get to the worst parts of the topic. I have to stop repeating what you say in the grocery store, saying Deez Nutz loudly because buds in and laughing is eventually going to get me banned. Look, I don't think you're going to get banned from the grocery store for saying Deez Nutz. You can just tell them that that's what you're actually looking for. You're like, I can't find Deez Nutz, either the nuts or the candy bars. Hill Science Dog Food is facing a lawsuit that could be interesting. IMO, it's just people not knowing how RX diets work. Dog food court. I mean, I'm here to take a look at it. Soggy bottom buns, patties with the dust. With the dust. The whole line was making it up. That burger got low. Look, Shorty got them boots with the fur. The Christmas, like early 2000s music mashups this year are sending me. There are so many creative musicians on social media, and I'm loving it. The Christmatizing of To the Windows, to the Walls, and this are so funny. Usually replay crew and late to the party today, but thank you for doing this. Feels like a real party. I've been looking forward to. It was an unhinged party. Thanks for what you do all year. Proud to be a Lauderd. I'm proud to have you as a Lauderd. Mike says PA has a town called Bird in Hand, and it's right before intercourse. I'm not kidding. We love intercourse, PA. Bird in Hand is funny. Fun fact, in Spanish, law firms can be called judicial buffets. I love that too. Emily, I got my Coffee and Cursey Words mug this week, and I'm waiting for my fax hat. So excited. Cheers. So excited for you. Problem is the last influencer Subway had. This is very fair, Cora. I had forgotten about Jared. Subway might be feeling a little bit burned about working with influencers. Fair. Rianne, last 1L file tomorrow and need some EDB luck. Good luck on your last 1L final. You will be fine. Get some rest. This comment is just to tell Emily, my family loves you, and so doth I. Happy holiday day things. Thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate it. Thank you for the gift of memberships. Merry giggles are wonderful viewed in the chat. The chat was on fire of hilarity today. I came in late enjoying a bit of a lap span smoked tea with a dash of whiskey. That sounds amazing. Objection, peanuts are legumes. This whole thing, we're just getting rid of, we're just throwing it out. It's like, no, Deez Nutz. They're actually, they're not nuts at all. The kennel has a dog and candor. The comments are so good. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up. The local kennel clubs are usually responsible for accepting vendors at the AKC shows. I don't see them in Orlando last week, but the vendors did have the Bad Spaniels toys. Oh my God, amazing. We love to see it. We love to see it. Are you Team Sutton or Team Kyle? Anthony, I'm not caught up yet. Name was kind of iconic. Kyle likes to stir the pot and doesn't like it to come back around on her. But Kyle's also having a really rough year. And I I don't know. With her friend passing, I feel like the women aren't giving a ton of support around that, but I don't know if she's told them all how difficult it's been. If I drop a bag of them and the bag comes open, is that the same as busting Deez Nutz? Lacey, yes, it is. And without the violence of kicking. Accurate recreation of exhibit. Nut. Thank you, Crew Kid. That's hilarious. Chantel said, I'm a mail carrier being swamped by holiday gifts and cards. This was getting me through the 20-degree weather. I did, in fact, not bring enough snacks. Chantel, thank you for all you do, and I hope people leave you all of the gifts. We always leave our carriers stuff, so I hope that people do as well. Susie said getting unsubscribed randomly is very real. 4 times in one day just yesterday. I encourage everyone to check periodically. It's a large part of the reasons we use subscribers mode for the chat, because it will actually remind you when you go to chat if you're subscribed. We need a nut off between Deez Nutz and Deez Nutz. Surprisingly, usually at this time of year, Deez Nutz, usually successful motion to withdraw. They did. They were allowed to withdraw. Your argument doesn't support Deez Nutz. Complaint: if left in the sun, Deez Nutz developed a filmic coating. That's a review. Happy holidays. Streamyard. They don't need to know. Fred the farting gingerbread man. Oh God. I won't tell Fred the cat. Fred the cat is not a farting cat. Thank God. He is a drooling cat though. EDB is just all about the nuts for the holidays. Yeah, it's that time of year. It's just, we're staying in. It's cozy. It's a frisky time of year. Hearing you say members so many times when talking about Ringo has me dying laughing. The Ringo does go on the member. Just Ice Jen said, I'm the one responsible for hookers and blow. I do know that. Deez Nutz. P is for pterodactyl and everyone sharts. Jen, I know. I see you. I appreciate you. But I had forgotten about Deez Nutz. I remembered P is for pterodactyl. Hookers and blow, I think hookers and blow is 1010, Jen. It's so good. It's so good to see you in the chat. I love all the holiday wishes. We will llama before the end, I promise, but we also need a Big Mac wrap. To Miss Becky, write this cliffhanger. We'll have to get back to Miss Becky in the new year. We couldn't let Becky derail the holiday party. Happy holidays from the Netherlands. Thank you. All right. Petition for book review, nut merch. We'll see. FYI, Museum of Modern Art has a furry cup. An actual furry cup, because drinking from the furry cup is pretty, well, it got strange, but that's interesting. Thank you, Emily, for the streams. You came in clutch for my mortuary law class. That sounds fascinating. I didn't get a mortuary law class. Amazing. I'm glad I could help. Best stream to celebrate my 1-year anniversary. Ashley, it is the perfect time of the year to become a member. Sandra D, good to see you. Happy holidays, Law Nerds. It's just that I grew up rapping Big Mac. Look, it's an internet meme that is delightful for all. Can't join the party as I have a final I need to study for, so popping in to wish everybody a happy new year. Good luck on your final, Jen. I hope it goes well. Okay. Thank you for this stream today. Spent the day cleaning up a flooded basement after the storm yesterday and needed the laughs. That's the worst. I'm sorry, and I hope it cleans up well. I'm sorry that it's all wet while we're talking about nuts all day. For those of you who don't know the Big Mac wrap, we're gonna just accept our consequences and pull it up. We're gonna swoop ourselves into the Big Mac wrap and swoop ourselves out of the stream for the holidays. Yeah. Okay. One more internet meme before we go. Big Mac. Oh, you kind of messed up the wrap there. Let's see. Where is the original video? Is this the original video? This is one of my favorite memes to exist on YouTube. This came to my attention when I was working at the district attorney's office. My office mate, I think, is the one who found this. And we would rap this to each other on the regular starting in maybe 2007. So, for those of you who don't know the joy of the old school days of YouTube, welcome. Anything that was posted to YouTube 17 years ago counts as the old school days of YouTube. But YouTube brought us such gems as the Big Mac rap back when people were, not pranking each other by throwing things out of shopping carts, which isn't original or funny, but were pranking fast food workers by rapping in the drive-thru. So, law nerds, for those of you that don't know, I introduce you to the Big Mac rap. Big Mac.
Big Mac. Big Mac.
I need a double cheeseburger and hold the lettuce. Don't be frontin', son, no seeds on the bun. We be up in the drive-thru, order for two. I got the craving for a number 9, lock my shoe. We need some chicken up in here, in this sizzle. Original mental extra salt on the fizzle. Like the type of my brother. Another for your mother, double super size. And don't forget the fries. That's about it.
That's about it.
I'm sorry, I only caught the double cheeseburger.
I only caught the double cheeseburger.
We'll slow it down for you.
Can you throw that down again?
Whoever was working and was just like, can you throw that down again, has the best sense of humor, and I appreciate that.
Big Mac.
Slow it down a little.
Big Mac.
I was early. I came too fast.
Double cheeseburger and hold the lettuce. Don't be frontin', son, no seeds on the bun. We need up in this drive-thru, order for two. I got a craving for a number 9, like my shoe. I need some chicken up in here, in this sizzle. Original, my nizzle, extra salt on the frizzle. Another pepper, my brother. Another for your mother, double super size. And don't forget the fries.
Go one more time.
Can you go one more time?
Speed this one up.
Big Mac. Big Mac.
Big Mac. Big Mac.
Big Mac.
I need a double cheeseburger and hold the lettuce. Don't be frontin', son, no seeds on the bun. I need up in this drive-thru, order for two. I got a craving for a number 9, like my shoe. I need some chicken up in here, in this is a... Oh, you ruined the rap there.
She's like, you didn't say what
You
kind.
didn't tell me what you wanted. You said number 9. Number 9 what? We got grilled and crispy.
Number
And
9
what's the drink
grilled,
with it?
number 9 crispy. It's like, shit.
Sir.
Big Mac.
I got the Big Mac.
I got the Big Mac.
Big Mac.
I need a double cheeseburger and hold the lettuce. Don't be frontin', son, no seeds on the bun. We be up in this drive-thru, order for two. I got the craving for a number 9, like my shoe. I need some chicken up in here, in this frizzle. Original, my mental extra salt on the fizzle. Like the pepper, my brother.
Another for your mother, double super size, and don't forget the fries. Crispy is how that ends. I don't know how that got cut off, but at the end, his friend is like, crispy, say crispy. She's like, a number 9 what? A number 9 grilled? Number 9 crispy. Big Mac. So this would start an absolute monstrosity of us Big Mac rapping in the office at work to annoy one of our other office mates. And even years later, the Big Mac rap still comes up. I am waiting for this person to become a judge so I can literally fly back to California and walk into their courtroom and have them look at me from the bench and be like, good morning, Your Honor. I need a Big Mac. Big Mac. I need a double cheeseburger and hold the lettuce. Don't be frontin', son. No seeds on the bun. I'll be up in this drive-thru, order for two. The entire court staff is going to be like, what the fuck has happened here? I'm going to be like, no. I've got a craving for a number 9, like my shoe. I need some chicken up in here, in this hizzle. Yep. I can see it all happening. I know my antler's bent. Dr. B and I had to chat about it. I don't know how the antler got bent. One of them is perfectly erect, and the other one is sad. He was like, it was stored in the storage box. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. It's going to happen. One of these days, I'm going to be like, good morning, Your Honor. I need a Big Mac. But number 9, what? Yeah, grilled or crispy. So it's going to happen one of these days. I will try to fix my flopped antler. Look, they can't all be perfectly erect. Sometimes we need just a little character. It's a little limp. Law nerds, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging with me this holiday season. I will be in the chat for tomorrow's podcast episode. We are covering a little bit of Ruby Frankie's plea and a lot of Donna Adelson's jail calls. That is special. That is special. Ray said someone kicked the antler. Only law nerds will get it at this point. It's going to become an inside joke where it's like, did somebody kick it? Lynn, the T stands for decorum. Yes, me just wanting to have a giggle at my friends who are judges by not being serious at all. Charlene said, I love Delta Wi-Fi. Same. There have definitely been times when I have been in the podcast premiere from the Delta Wi-Fi. And when it works, it's flawless. When it doesn't, it's real frustrating. So law nerds, thank you for being here this holiday season. Thank you for being here all year. Thank you for your support. Whether you are new, whether you have been here, I don't know, for the last 3 years and before, for those of you who found me and they're like, didn't you do a video on a purse or an iPhone? Yes. Next year, some of our members only will be reacting to my original videos on YouTube from back in the day. So there's lots of content to come, lots of cases to follow, more live court, and lots of law nerd laughs to be had. You guys are the best community. Thank you for being funny. Thank you for sharing your humor and your wit with me, the ups and downs, the struggles, the losses, the wins. You guys share everything in this chat, and I really appreciate it. For those of you that lurk in the chat and are here, I know that you are. I see you every now and then. You're like, I normally lurk, but I'm here to say hi. I love that you can engage in whatever way feels best for you. Take care of yourself this holiday season. It can be joyful, but it can be rough, and it can be both at the same time. And I know in this community, we have a lot of two things can be true at once. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. Say yes when you want to. Say no when you need to. And enjoy, law nerds. I will see you in the new year. Unless Jody Hildebrandt does something fucking wild, and then I might see you before the new year, and this is why I traveled last New Year, but I am leaving the possibilities open because you never know. And with all of that, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Thank you for being a law nerd, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers. You can stay up to date with everything I'm covering and fast notifications on our free iOS and Android app at lawnerdapp.com, or search the App Store for Law Nerd. You can also follow me around social media, and don't forget to check out my podcast, The Emily Show, with quick bits dropping every Monday, summarizing everything I do here on the live streams on Tuesday and Thursday for when you just have time for the quick bits. Thanks for being a law nerd.